You're now listening to Debatetalk4u Radio.
This is Eli. I'm checking out Debatetalk4u Radio. When I want to hear the hottest debates in the country, I stay tuned. Shout out to Sal doing his thing. Keep doing the great work, man, and I'm going to keep tuning in.
Shalom, shalom, Sal Showtime, and all the Debatetalk4u listening audience. This is Mikael Ben Yisrael, yours truly, coming straight out of Chi-Town. LG Love all day. This the best show in the nation that brings the young conscious mind to awaken the dead. Keep doing your thing, Showtime. We're going to keep bringing in truth. In Jesus' name, the Mashiach. Shalom to all the nation of Israel.
You don't want to miss the best show via internet, Debatetalk4u Radio. We have the best debates in the world. We have the best special guests to present the information to the masses out there. So make sure you tune in every Thursday and Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time by going to www.blogtalkradio.com/Debatetalk4u. The number is 646-716-7320. If you want to tune in via phone or via Skype, once again, that number is 646-716-7320. Save it to your cell phone. Let people know that Debatetalk4u is official. Check us out.
Greetings from the I Love Being Black movement. We have the largest black Facebook page with over 6 million fans worldwide, and we're offering advertising options at affordable rates. If you want to increase your reach with loads of new fans, then this is absolutely the best way. We also offer seminars, consultations, and strategic planning services by Kumi Rose, aka the Social Strategist. Why not contact us today at ilovebeingBlack.com or call us at 310-807-5775. Cheers.
Hi, this is Tyrone Thompson, host of the Blog Talk Radio broadcast Talk Real Solutions. Please tune in and listen to all of our shows 7 nights a week at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. At Talk Real Solutions, we cover a variety of topics to ensure we speak about what may be needed in our community at any time. Talk Real Solutions is the hottest blog talk radio show going on right now. You can listen to our broadcast at www.blogtalkradio.com/talkrealsolutions or visit our website at www.talkrealsolutions.com. Also like our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/talkrealsolutions. You can call in at any time during the show and add to the conversation and offer your solutions at 1-858-357-8453. That's 1-858-357-8453. Because at Talk Real Solutions, we want to make sure you have a chance to talk Real Solutions.
Hello, everybody out there listening in. This is Brother Laron, co-teacher of Absolute Bible Truth Ministry. First and foremost, I want to acknowledge and give reverence and credence to the Father of all creation, the Holy One of Israel. Peace and blessings in the name of our Lord and King, the Messiah, Jesus Christ. I want to take this great opportunity to invite you guys to the Absolute Bible Truth broadcast on Blog Talk Radio. If you love to hear the Word or have any questions concerning the Word, call in and dial 646-716-8249. That's 646-716-8249. We are live on the air every Saturday, the Most High's weekly Sabbath, starting at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to listen in via internet, type in www.blogtalkradio.com/Absolute Bible Truth. We also have a Facebook page. You type in Absolute Bible Truth, all one word, in the search engine. At ABT, we teach the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth concerning the Word of God while leaving out all personal opinions, speculations, and beliefs. Our ministry believes emphatically that the Bible is indeed the absolute truth, and we pride ourselves in bringing forth the Word in a clear, intelligent fashion so that the body of Christ will be edified in abundance. I love you guys, pray our strength in Christ, and we will do the same for you. Shalom.
Peace, shalom, hotep, and greetings to you all. First and foremost, I want to say much love and respect and honor to Brother Sal for giving me the opportunity to post an ad on his show. I'm a graphic designer who goes by two names, and those names are Etheric Designs and Epic Designs. Now, these names are spelled differently from what you would think by the sound of them. Etheric is spelled E-T-H-E-R-I-C. Designs with a Z, as in D-E-Z-I-G-N-S. For Epic Designs, there will be E-P-I-K-D-E-Z-I-G-N-S. The works I mainly deal with are album covers, ebook covers, flyers, posters, and Vexel logos. I really don't like to put a limit on what it is I can do. So if I listed something that you do not have in mind, you can always contact me via Facebook, which will be at John Etheric Designs Washington, spelled as I stated before. Or you can email me directly, which is at epicdesigns@gmail.com. Remember, Epic is spelled E-P-I-K-D-E-Z-I-G-N-S @gmail.com, and we can discuss whatever crazy idea you may have, a unique idea you may have, or just simply different idea you may have that I have not listed. And I look forward to talking to you. Peace.
You are now inside the Lion's Den. Welcome to Debatetalk4u Radio.
This is Ronald Francoeur representing from Atlanta, Georgia. And when I'm not busy in the studio, I'm checking out Debatetalk4u Radio. Keep up the great work, Sal Showtime.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? How you guys doing? Welcome to another show. You're now listening to Season 5 of Debatetalk4u Radio. Of course, I'm your host, Sal Showtime. And welcome, everybody, to the Lions. That's right. You're listening to Debatetalk4u, and the most respected show is the Lions Den, where we have the best debates in the world via internet. We have the best special guests to bring forth the information to the masses out there. And I see we have a lot of people calling in via phone and via Skype. Once again, that number is 646-716-7320. Again, much love to those people that call in 10 minutes, 15 minutes ahead of time, just waiting patiently for Debatetalk4u to come on the air. Welcome to the show. Of course, all the international listeners, the people listening in the UK, Canada, There's people listening in Toronto, all across the globe out there. There's people waking up to the Big Talk for You Radio. It's a morning show for some people. So those people that's waking up to the show, I definitely appreciate you checking out the Big Talk for You Radio. And, of course, everybody on social media, on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. You're listening inside a group. Do me a favor, share it on your personal page. Make sure you put that number there, 646-716-7320, and let people know that the Big Talk for You is all about the people calling in with their questions and their comments, and that we're live on the air. Tonight we're going to have a classic debate for you guys. My special guests are standing by, and today's debate is entitled, Did Angels Impregnate Women Creating Giants? Once again, did angels impregnate women creating giants? Once again, get your pen and pads ready. Like I always say, make sure you take down the notes, hear both sides, and most of all, do your own independent research. It's all about the information being presented on the show. So before I introduce my special guest, as usual, I got to go through a few brief announcements. Send me an email at debatetalk4u@gmail.com. That's debatetalk, the number 4 and the letter U, @gmail.com. Go to facebook.com/debatetalk4u or subscribe. That's facebook.com/debatetalk4u. You can download the show via iTunes. Go to the podcast section. You type in the search box Debate Talk, the number 4 and the letter U, and you'll see the show pop up absolutely free. You can download it to your PC, your tablet, your iPad, whatever you have, and instantly get the show. The great thing about the iTunes podcast, you can check out Season 1 all the way up to Season 5. Another thing, once the show is over, give it about 5 minutes, and it automatically uploads to whatever system you have the iTunes podcast in. So once again, I highly recommend that you subscribe to the iTunes podcast. It's absolutely free. Once again, it's absolutely free. So go to iTunes and subscribe. Go to Instagram.com/debatetalk4u. Of course, we're on YouTube. Go to YouTube.com/debatetalk4u. We have some videos up there. Go check it out. Go to Twitter.com and type in Showtime DT4U. That's Showtime. D as in David, T as in Tom, the number 4, and the letter U. Keep in mind, I invite a variety of special guests on this show. So whatever information you hear, I highly recommend that you take notes and find time to do your own independent research, just to make sure the information is valid. Feel free to call in. We must hold our elders, teachers, and scholars accountable for the information being brought to you in all public venues. The sole purpose for this show is for you to listen to audience to hear new information, take notes, call in for answers, and most of all, do your own independent research. Also, the number 1 rule on this show is there's no foul language, guys. No foul language. Keep it clean, keep it professional. We have thousands of listeners that tune in all across the globe via Blog Talk, some of which may tune in with their children or even the elderly. Let's keep it professional. Help support the show. Send in your donation through PayPal. Go to www.paypal.com. Use the email donations@debatetalk4u.com. That's donations with the S at the end at debatetalk4u.com. Your continued support is appreciated, no matter the amount, whether it be $1, $5, $10, or more. Remember, you are making it all happen. Sign up at Blog Talk Radio, absolutely free, and never miss another show. Once you sign up, in the search box, type in Debate Talk for You, and you will automatically be notified via email and smartphone of all upcoming shows. We want to hear from you, the listening audience. Send in your audio shout-outs. All you need is a voice recorder, which you can find on any smartphone. Say your name, where you're from, and what you like about the show. When you're done, send it to the email, debatetalk4u@gmail.com, and I will play it on the air. Show your love and send in your audio shout-outs today. As some of you may have heard during the course of the intro, you heard some of the shout-outs, and your voice can be heard as well. So once again, I like to hear from the fans of the show. If you want to send in your audio shout-outs, send it to debatetalk4u@gmail.com. And also, all the advertisements that you heard on the show, make sure you check the website out. The show is archived, so you can always go back and check it out. But make sure you support the people that help sponsor the show, and we advertise their commercials on the platform. Make sure you go check out their websites, their events, things of that nature. Show your support. For a very small fee, you can advertise your business, live events, website, etc. right here on Debate Talk for You. Trust me, no one else will allow you to advertise for the low cost I will offer you. Don't miss the opportunity to gain more exposure. Once again, if you want to advertise your business, your live event, your website, you may have an album coming out or some things of that nature. Again, show your support. Send me an email at debatetalk4u@gmail.com, and I'll give you all the details on how you can advertise live on Debate Talk for You. In order for Debate Talk for You to expand, we need each and every listener to subscribe to the Facebook page, the YouTube channel, and even an official Blog Talk Radio page. We love the fact that you listen to the information. However, we need your subscription. We need you to show the world that we have a strong and loyal following. Help help take the show to the next level and be a loyal follower of Debate Talk for You. Only you can keep us relevant. All right, let me fill you in on some news, some things that's coming up on the show. Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, we have a show, and it's going to be with Brother Josh. He's going to present a lesson to the people out there. And the title of the class will be The Quran versus the Lost Books. Does the Quran reference the book of Jasher? Once again, the title of that class will be The Quran versus the Lost Books. Does the Quran reference the book of Jasher? As you may know, again, the show is all about the listening audience calling in with your questions. Let your voice be heard live. Be sure to call in this Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, live on Debate Talk Radio. We also have a show this Thursday with Dwayne Bonton. He's going to present a powerful lesson. It's going to go down at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Make sure you tune in to Debate Talk for You. Next Thursday, February 19th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, we're going to have the Roundtable episode 15. Once again, the Roundtable is back. You know, the Roundtable is one of the highly anticipated segments of the show, and it's going to be entitled The Female Session. For the first time on Debate Talk for You, we're going to have all women on the panel answering questions and also dialoguing with each other, you know, having righteous conversation and speaking about, you know, women topics, things of that nature. So make sure you check it out. Thursday, February 19th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Check out the Roundtable, episode 15, The Female Session. Friday, February 20th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, we have a debate between Israel Doctrine, Carl Albert, versus Pastor Maurice Edwards. And the title of that debate will be, Is Dietary Law Necessary? Again, is dietary law necessary? I actually scheduled this debate before, but for some reason it wasn't able to come down. Every time we got close to that date, it was a cancellation or things happened, but finally it's going to go down February 20th at 7 p.m. Again, Israel Doctor is going to be here. Pastor Maurice, some of you guys know him from the House of Consciousness. He had a debate with the Gorilla Hebrew on Sinetta TV. So it's going to be another classic debate, February 20th. You don't want to miss that show. Friday, February 20th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And an early promotion. Now, I know this show I'm going to announce is very, very early, but I feel like, okay, I might as well let you guys know about it. I'm setting up a roundtable, another roundtable, episode 16, and the title of that discussion will be One West Hebrew Camps, Destructive or Productive? Once again, it's going to be entitled One West Hebrew Camps, Destructive or Productive? I'm actually reaching out to some One West Hebrew Israelites to be on the panel, and you know, so far a lot of people responding pretty well. You know, just want to get at least maybe 8 people in a round table. Of course, I'm gonna have some One West, you know, representatives and some other people on the panel that's non-One West representatives, and we're gonna have a great dialogue here. That's gonna go down Thursday, March 12th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I think there's going to be a very powerful segment of the round table, so that's an early promotion. I guess I'm going to keep on promoting that thing until we get to that date. Again, that's going to be the round table, episode 16, One West Hebrew Camps, Destructive or Productive? If there's anybody out there that's listening to the show and you're a part of the One West and you want to be a part of One West Camps, you want to be a part of the panel, again, send me an email, debatetalk4u@gmail.com, and, you know, we can set it up and make it all happen. All right, guys, let me introduce my special guest. My first special guest, you can check out his YouTube channel by typing in the search box Unityghost. Well, again, you can type in the search box Unityghost on YouTube. He's a student from the House of Israel, Cincinnati. This is his first time inside the Lion's Den, but he's been here before, you know, in a round table, things of that nature, but it's going to be his first time debating right here in the Lion's Den. This is Nathan Yisrael. Welcome to the show, my brother.
Praise Almighty Yahweh.
All right. Let the people know a little bit more about yourself, a little brief bio.
As you said, I'm a student of the House of Israel. I'm just here humbly to shut down false doctrine, as we're supposed to do, false things that are taught to our people. About myself, you know, I like to get myself any type of glory. That's why I say all praise to Yahweh, and any mistake goes to me. But anything that y'all see that I pointed out, which is going to be a lot of things, y'all Almighty gave it to me. And, you know, like I said, you can type in Unityghost together. I usually got other people's debates on there, of teachers. And that's why I said I hope this person I'm debating is a student, as I am. So we can have, you know, even, like I said, because if not, we have my teachers, which you can see that was on Debate Talk for You many different times. They're on that Unityghost channel, and they, as you can see, they won every time, especially when we talk about the false New Testament and, you know, things of that nature. And the day starting that evening, which is a lie, and things like that. we show that those things are lies. But that's all I want to say for right now. You said to be brief.
All right, man. Once again, it's an honor and a pleasure to have you on the line inside the Lions Den, right here on Debate Talk for You. My next special guest, he's been on the show several times before. You may have seen, heard of him in a lot of the roundtable discussions. He's teaching the class right now every Monday from 7 p.m. Eastern Time. We have a seven-part series called The Seven Dispensations of Man. If you happen to miss any of those shows, you can always go back to the archives and check it out. www.blogtalkradio.com/debatetalk4u. We got up to part 3 this past Monday, so we're going to go into part 4 next Monday. My special guest already been stepping inside the Lions Den. He's been on since season 3. You can check out his archive radio show called G Consciousness Radio. Once again, that's G Consciousness Radio. You can check out his Facebook group called Bust the Bible Like a Rifle. Again, he has a Facebook group called Bust the Bible Like a Rifle. And, like I said, he's been here. He's very familiar with the Lions Den. This is Laron G. Consciousness Campbell. Welcome to the show.
What's going on? Peace to everybody. Peace, Brother Sal. Peace, Brother Nathan. What's going on? Peace, brother. Like Brother Sal said, if you want to reach me, those are the ways you can reach me. He basically said it all. My Gmail is Laron498@gmail.com. So, I've been on here a couple of times, ripping some false doctrine of pieces and shreds, and I'm to do so as well as tonight, you know what I'm saying? So for those that are listening in, grab a paper and your pen. And, man, this brother finna get it in. Yeah, but, I like to thank Sal for having me once again. And like you said, every Monday night, tune in. I got 4 more. I did 3. I got 4 more to go. So, when I get those done, we're dealing with the 7 dispensations of man. It's been a pretty good class. You know what I'm saying? Pretty good classes. So for those that want to understand what dispensations is or ages or, the points to dispensations, tune on in on Monday night at 7 p.m., Eastern time, and get some understanding or, call in and give me some understanding. I'm willing, always open to take some understanding, definitely. So with that being said, let's get ready to rumble.
All right, Laron G. Consciousness Campbell, it's always a pleasure to have you on the show. All right, guys, I know you guys can't wait to get this thing started, so let me get into the debate format so you guys, for the first-time listeners out there, you can know how everything's going to go down. Of course, we're going to start off with an opening statement. It's going to be 12 minutes each. Once we get to the 2-minute mark, you're going to hear this sound. Once you hear that sound, that means there's 2 minutes left of your time. And once your time is totally up, you're going to hear this sound. That means your time is up. After that, we're going to go into the rebuttal. Part of this debate is going to be 10 minutes each. After that, we're going to go into the cross-examination part of this debate. It's going to be 10 minutes each. Now, each person has prepared several questions to ask one another. Due to time constraints, the maximum amount of time to answer a question will be 1 minute, guys. Once again, the maximum amount of time to answer a question will be 1 minute. Once you go over the 1 minute mark, you're going to hear this sound. All right, once you hear that sound, that means it's time to go to the next question. In the process of asking your questions or answering a question, please make it brief. The person on the receiving side being asked questions, please save your questions for when it's your cross-examination time. Of course, everybody knows there's no foul language on Debate Talk for You. We keep it clean, keep it professional, or you automatically be disqualified. Let's keep it professional. I will make sure no one else will, I will do my best to moderate the situation. And please speak one person at a time so the listening audience and I can gain full understanding. I repeat, please speak one person at a time so the listening audience and I can gain full understanding. After the cross-examination, we're going to take an 8-minute intermission break. let the gentleman relax for a little while, gather some more information. And then we're going to come back with a second rebuttal. That's going to be 7 minutes each. And after that, the public Q&A. That's where you, the listening audience, will call in with your questions and your comments. By down to that number, 646-716-7320. Once again, I'm going to ask my listening audience, show respect to the special guests, as well as special guests, show respect to the listening audience. And that also goes for you guys, listening audience. No foul language is permitted, or else you will be blocked from calling into the show. Please make your comments brief due to high volume of callers. And everyone has limited time to ask a question unless I believe the dialogue is needed for edification purposes. And after that, finally, we're going to go to the final statements, and that's going to be 7 minutes each. Just a reminder, when you're inside the Lion's Den, be prepared to answer any and all questions. Keep in mind that your lack of making your answers clear or not answering questions may affect your credibility. Once inside the Lion's Den, please, no excuses. No excuses during the debating process. You must earn your respect. Remember, it's not all about winners or losers. It's all about the people learning from the information you provide. I want to inform both special guests, the Lion's Den has been created for us to settle all things right here in a professional setting. Let's not lose respect by taking things personal inside or outside of the forum via social media, email, etc. We here at Debate Talk for You do not encourage our opponents to boast in any way, shape, or form. Be mindful we have a listening audience seeking credible information for edification purposes. We should all maintain our integrity and leave the Lion's Den tonight with the honor and a level of respect. All right, guys, we're going to get this thing started, guys. Being that this is Nathan Israel's first time inside the Lion's Den, everybody know the rules. If it's your first time, automatically you got to go first. So we're going to start off with Brother Nathan. Again, we're going to start off with an opening statement. It's going to be 12 minutes each. Once again, let the people know out there on social media it's about to begin. Debate Talk for You. The number is 646-716-7320. So let me open up Nathan's phone line. Let me set up the timer, and you can go ahead, brother.
Well, praise the mighty Yahweh. Before I give all glory to Yahweh. And, any blemish, you can get that to me. You talk about that One West thing, please, if you can put me on that One West thing. Because I'm going to definitely stir things up. You know what I mean?
I got you, brother.
And also,
I got you.
I got you. And when it talks about the Quran in reference to the book of Jasher, it's talking about that story with Abraham and his father, and Abraham destroyed all of his father's idols except for one idol in which he put the hammer in his hand and all that. That's it's talking about that story. You know what I mean? It's garbage. That's why both of them, Quran and, you know what I mean, that it's all garbage, man. The book of Jasher is lies too. I can get into that too, like I said. So, yeah, the Quran will do it because they both lies. But I'm gonna start at the book of Genesis, chapter 4. Get this out of the way, because everybody already know the truth about this. But it's Genesis 4. I'm gonna go to verse 14. I'm gonna start at verse 13. And Cain said unto Yahweh, my punishment is greater than I can bear. Behold, thou hast driven me out from this day from the face of the earth. From thy face shall I be hid. I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond on the earth. It shall come to pass that everyone that findeth me shall slay me. And Yahweh said unto him, therefore, whoso slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. And Yahweh set a mark upon Cain. He said, any find him, should kill him. So right here, he said, from thy face shall I be hid. So we know who this is talking about compared to the sons of Elohim. Genesis chapter 4 and 25. Adam knew his wife again, and she bare a son and called his name Seth. But Elohim said, she have appointed me another seed instead of Abel, whom Cain slew. And to Seth to him also was born a son, and he called his name Enoch. Then began man to call upon the name of Yahweh. So then man started calling upon the name of Yahweh. Now we talk about, who are these men? Of course, if we read, we can start at Genesis 5:21. It says, and Enoch lived 65 years to beget Methuselah. Enoch walked with Elohim, but after he begat Methuselah 300 years and begat sons and daughters. And all the days of Enoch were 365 years. And Enoch walked with Elohim, and he was not, but Elohim took him. So we see how Enoch was. We also can read down in verse 29 where it says, he called his name Noah, saying, this same shall comfort us concerning our work and the toil of our hands, because of the ground which Yah have cursed. And of course, it goes on to chapter 6 and 8 to say, Noah found grace in the eyes of Yahweh. These are generations of Noah. Noah was a just man and perfect in his generation. But Noah walked with Elohim. So he's the son of Elohim. We see these sons of Elohim that came out of Seth. We see that. We see these righteous men. So we don't, when we talk about the sons of Elohim being angels, we're going to deal with that. Because we're going to have to really get a clarification of what angels we talking about, what story we talking about. But this thing is really messed up. And, it's also messed up because people believe in that New Testament. It got them really messed up to believe these stories. And it gets all jumbled up. But we're going to deal with it. Right now, I want to go to the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 3. Deuteronomy 3 and verse 11. And I was checking this out. Deuteronomy 3 and 11, it says, and I think that's 7 minutes left. And for only Og, king of Bashan, remained of the remnant of the giants. Behold, his bedstead was a bedstead of iron. Is it not at Reben of the sons of Ammon? 9 cubits was the length thereof, 4 cubits was the breadth thereof. So right here it's about 13 and a half feet by 6 feet. So when you think about these giants, and we can see later that these giants, they do have a lineage. There's a lot of Philistines that were giants. And it said how tall they were. Now, if his bed was, it said 6 feet by 13 and a half, then we can imagine the Philistine. But that's not the case. If we go to the book of Enoch, and I know it's going to be a couple of our brothers that believe the book of Enoch should be followed, but it's a bunch of garbage. But this is one part of the game that's messed up. It says, read this. And they became pregnant and bare great giants whose height was 3,000 ells. Now, even if the height was 300 ells, say they just added a 0, that's too much. That's like 450 feet. You know what I mean? So we talk about ells and how tall these giants were. No, it's not the same. The book of Enoch is garbage. 3,000 ells cannot be explained. I want some brother to come up here and try to explain how 3,000 ells is anything close to that giant's bed size. You know what I mean? And what giants are we talking about? But, not only that, it talks about, Christ is talking about how angels don't marry or is given in marriage. You think about this, is Christ ignorant? He was ignorant to a lot of stuff. He is a liar too. But was he ignorant? Was he ignorant to angels being given in marriage? Because right here it said, well, unless these people right here are just saying a lie. They said, a lot of them say that Christ was there at the beginning of the world, but he didn't see that angels were actually supposedly given in marriage in Genesis 6, which is a lie. We know who the son of Elohim is, but we're going to show it because they're going to say they was cast out, the angels were cast out, and then they had sex, or some of them just went down there. We're gonna figure out what it is. And who was cast out? Was it Satan? Was it this angel that it mentions all throughout the book of Enoch and Jewish mysticism? It's mentioned as A-Z-A-Z-E-L. It's a name of an angel, so I'm not breaking the laws because it ain't the name of a god necessarily. But Azazel, whatever that little, and Uzel, and all the rest of the angels. We need to get the story correct. Because a lot of people want to go to Revelation, and they say, well, yeah, he was cast down from heaven. And, in fact, we're going to see that Satan is not Lucifer. But let's go to Genesis 6. I got 4 minutes left. I won't get to everything. It just won't happen. But in Genesis 6, it says, and it came to pass when man began to multiply on the face of the earth, that daughters were born unto them. And the sons of Elohim saw the daughters of man, and wives, all which they chose. What we see in the book of Enoch, for anybody, it's going to say they were children of fornication. It said that the angels came down and fornicated. So, you got to at least call the book of Enoch a lie. You know what I mean? You don't have to, at the end of this, I'm going to show how the book of Enoch is a lie and the Zohar. Because I got some of you Jewish mystic brothers in the community pushing that Jewish wickedness, got all the rest of our people thinking the day started even. But not only that, which is in the Babylonian Talmud, but not only that, we got this Zohar, which is the foundation of the Kabbalah. These people are putting up Kabbalah trees, and you know what I'm saying, talking about these different, the crown on top and all this garbage, that Jewish mysticism. So we're going to see that all these lies, that's where they come from. The New Testament is linked with the Jewish mysticism. But show me where Yahweh said this thing. We won't be able to do it. And you guys should know. If you have heard the different debates from my teachers, you have to know that you have to go to the Almighty's word to prove anything to the house of Israel. But to go on, I'm going to keep reading. And Yahweh said, my spirit shall not always strive with man, that he also is flesh. That his days shall be 120 years. And there were giants in the earth in those days. And after that, the sons of Elohim came to the daughters of, and they bare unto them, and the same became mighty men, which are of old, men of renown. Now, of course, they're going to say that, no, these giants were, they were made by an angel coming down, but then the angels got locked up. We locked the angels up in the everlasting whatever for, in the book of Jude. And I'm going to go through all that garbage. It say the same thing in the book of Enoch about angels being locked up in mountains. The same garbage it says in the New Testament. But they got the angels locked up. I mean, we're going to see. And I'm going to keep reading. I'm going to go to the book of 2 Samuel. 2 Samuel 21. Second Samuel 21 and 15. I only got 2 minutes left. I see that. Moreover, the Philistines had war again with Israel, and David went down in service to him and fought against the Philistines. David waxed faint. And Ishbi-Mob, which was the sons of the giant, the height of their spear weighed 300 shekels of brass in weight, being girded in new swords. We're talking about the Philistines. I can go, more into that. In fact, let me keep going, man. I only got 2 minutes, though. Let me see. I want to address some really good stuff. Okay, well, let's get into the book of Enoch a little bit. This book of Enoch, not only does it says that the angels was white, it said that Noah was white, and it also said to worship the Son of Man. Now, I know we got a lot of quote-unquote messianics in here. Now, it does say worship the Son of Man in the book of Enoch. Now, I know some of you guys may go with that, but that's wickedness. But it says a lot of stuff in the book of Enoch that's lies. You know what I mean? It starts talking about these angels, these giants, and they start eating the people. And the angels teach all the people wickedness. And because of the angels, the earth was filled with wickedness, and the angels was teaching them magic and teaching them how to write with ink. It's a whole bunch of garbage. And then they got this whole war against the Almighty. They got it so they think that's, is there evil in the city and Yahweh has not done it? But they got these people talking about they're going to fight against the Almighty and these angels and it's Satan's army. And Satan's army is going to take out the Almighty, and the Almighty created all this stuff. And for people to think that someone go against the Almighty, it's just pure. And we love our brothers, so we don't want to say certain words. We can't supposed to say certain words. But ain't nobody fighting against the Almighty. You know what I mean? The Almighty controls the evil spirit, just like we see in 2 Kings. We had the lion spirit. And that was for all the hosts of heaven. They didn't say someone was locked up in a dungeon. You know what I mean? But I'm going to come back. I got like 4 or 5.
All right, once again, you're listening to Debatetalk4u Radio. The number is 646-716-7320. That was special guest Nathan Israel. Once again, it's his first time inside the Lion's Den. A topic of debate: did angels impregnate women, creating giants? Did angels impregnate women, creating giants? So now we're going to go to Laron G. Konsciousness Campbell. He's going to have 12 minutes for his opening statement. All right, so let me open up his phone line and go ahead.
All right, can I be heard? Am I clear? Can I be heard? Am I clear, sir? All right, so let's do this. Let's do this real quick. Let's go to Genesis 3 and 15, and let's see about this seed that is supposed to come in and which caused expectation to go forth. It says, Genesis 3 and 15, it says, and I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed, and it shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel. So we see with this text there is an expectation of a seed that shall come, according to Genesis 3 and 15. So when we see this seed that shall come, it said that the seed of the serpent shall bruise the head, basically of Christ, basically. So we know this took place when the Pharisees basically killed and crucified our Lord Jesus Christ, just as well as the Romans, just as well. Let's move on real quick. Hurry up and get this. Let's jump to Genesis 4 and 26. Genesis 4 and 26. All right. Let's go over 4 and 26. It says, and to Seth, to him also there was born a son, and he called his name Enos. Then men began to call upon the name of the Lord. Now, if anybody break this text down and actually know what this text means, there's a text in here. Let me pull this out real quick in the Hebrew so we can understand this and get this, what this is saying. In other words, what this is actually saying here is that then men begin to profane the name of the Lord. We're going to prove that and pull it out in the text right here real quick, because everybody think this Seth was actually the one where men began to call on the name of the Lord. So are you telling me Seth was born at 130 years old as well, then his son was born, and his son wasn't born to 235 years after him. And so then men begin to call on the name of the Lord. Well, who was they calling on before? That's not what the text is saying. It's not saying that at all. So let's bring out what the text is actually saying real quick. Genesis 4:26. Looking this up in the Strongs. All right. That word is hold on, let me get this real quick. When it says, then began men to call on the name of the Lord, understand this, that word men is not actually there. The word in the Hebrew, in the regular Hebrew, you will not find that word men there actually there. It's not there at all. But what you will find is when it says begin, you find 2490. And when you look up that word 2490, it is kalal. And kalal means to profane, defile, pollute, or desecrate, begin. So what this text is saying is that men begin to profane the name of the Lord in the time of Enos, or basically through through his seed and through his lineage. So let's continue on and move on real quick. And for those that want to look that up, you can look it up in the Hebrew right now and address it just as well. So what we're going to deal with real quick, we're going to go to Genesis 6 and 1. We're going to get into it just right into it off the flip. Genesis 6 and 1. Jump here real quick. Genesis 6 and 1. All right. All right, so first thing what we want to do is bring out the expression of sons of God. It is found only 5 times in the Old Testament, right? And every time it's found, it is used of angels. For instance, when we see Genesis 6, 1 through 4, as well as Job 1 through 6, when it says Satan appearing before God by slander obtained. I'm sorry. It says, now there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan came also. So we see the sons of God just as well as there. Then we see also Job chapter 2 and 1, when it says Satan appearing, it says, and there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan also came also to present himself before the Lord just as well. Then we also have it in Job 38 and 7, and it says, when the morning stars sang together, and all the sons of God shouted for joy. Now here's the thing, and this text right here, Job 38:7. This is when the Most High was telling Job, "Was you there when he stretched forth when he made the earth and he made the lines, the axis to go through the earth and different things on how he created the earth." So then he says that when the morning stars sang together and all the sons of God shouted for joy when they seen the earth was created. Now understand this, there was not a earth to be created. There was not an earth created, and man was not even created yet actually to see the sons of God shout for joy. So therefore, when the earth was created and the sons of God shouted for joy, then afterwards man came and he was created then. We also see this text right here, and this is indisputable when we see this text just as well in Daniel 3:25. It says that he answered and said, "Lo, I see 4 men loose, walking in the midst of the fire, and they have no hurt, and the form of the 4th is like the Son of God." Now here it is, Nebuchadnezzar, the king at that time, basically knew that the sons of God were angels, or at least was called angels at that time. And they was in the similitude of man just as well. So let's jump down to 28, and let's see that and he's going to show us that they looked at that time as them being angels. And it says then Nebuchadnezzar spake and said, "Blessed be the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who have sent his angel and delivered his servants that trusted him, and have changed the king's word and yielded their bodies, that they might not serve nor worship any god." Let's jump back up real quick to 25. He said, he answered and said, "Lo, I see 4 men loose, walking in the midst of fire, and they have no hurt, and the form of the 4th is like the Son of God." So then he jumps down to 28, and he says, "Blessed be God who have sent his angel to deliver Daniel now," which was the 4th man that delivered Daniel now. So we know that they viewed at that time angels as son of gods. Let's go down a little bit more. So when we get off into Josephus, let's get off into a little bit of Josephus. He says, "Many angels of God accompanied with women and begot sons that proved unjust and despisers of all that was good. On account of the confidence they had in their own strength, these men did what resembled the acts of those whom the Grecians called giants." Antiquities, Book 1, Chapter 3, 3 and 1, basically, Book 1. Again, he says, "There were till then left the race of giants, who had bodies so large and countenance so entirely different from other men, that they were surprising to the sight and terrible to hearing. The bones of these men are still shown to this day." Antiquities, Book 5, 2 and 3. Then we have the Ante-Nicene Fathers also refer to these angels falling into impure love of virgins and were subjugated by the flesh of these lovers of virgins. Therefore were begotten those who are called giants. Now, what we call the giants of now, when you read the text, let's read the text. It says there were giants in the earth in these days. And after that, in other words, this is Moses talking. So Moses is saying there were giants in the earth in those days. In what days? In the antediluvian age, in other words, before the flood. And then he said, and also after that. So Moses is saying after that, after what? After the flood, there were giants just as well. When the sons of God came into the daughters of men, and they bare children to them. The word there, the daughters of men, is in the definite. It's in the definite article, which is Adam, which deals with Adam. So the daughters of Adam, and it says, and they bare children to them, and the same became mighty men. Men were of old, men of renown. In other words, this is the dispensation, or this is the time in the antediluvian period of hero worship, when men begin to look on these giants as heroes, and these giants taught these people how to fortify cities, how to erect temples, so on and so forth. So what I want to get to is, I want to jump to, we talked about a seed that shall come. So when we see that a seed that shall come, we see that there is an outright outright attack on the seed. And how we know that there's an attack on the seed is because, let's go to this real quick. Let's go to, jump down to Genesis 6. Where is it at? And God looked upon all the earth, and behold, it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted his ways upon the earth. And God said unto Noah, the end of flesh is come before me, for the earth is filled with violence. No, this is not it. Let's go up a little bit. Here it is, right here. These are the generations of Noah. And Noah was just man and perfect in his generations. Underline perfect in his generations. That word perfect in his generations means that Adam himself had not given himself over, or his seed, their seed, they were not mixed with these angels. Basically, the daughters, they came upon the daughters of men and caused them men to be in the image and likeness of them. They birthed giants. So we see this is why Moses pointed back and said, Adam had a son in his image and his likeness, because what tended to happen in those days, Moses is pointing back and showing us that there was giants in his days, and not only giants in those days. So he's making regards and saying that Adam had a child in his image and in his likeness, basically. So this is what he's dealing with. That word perfect in generation is the same word that is used for bodily perfection, basically. And in other words,
all right, once again, you're now listening to Debatetalk4u Radio. The number is 646-716-7320. I see people pressing the number 1 already. I see you guys pressing number 1. For those that just joined in, if you press number 1, that means you have a question for the special guest. But hold on, when we get to the public Q&A, we're going to let the listening audience chime in and let get answers to your questions. But you can press number 1 right now. If you know you're going to have a question, you can press number 1 right now and reserve their slot. Don't press it again. Just wait for the public Q&A, and we're going to hear from the people. By the way, guys, if you want to gain access to the chat room, you can go to www.blogtalkradio.com/debatetalk4u and click on this debate that angels impregnate women, creating giants. And then scroll down all the way at the bottom. You're going to see a little box with a couple people inside there. You can interact with myself or the people that's inside the chat room. So once again, you have to go directly to the Blog Talk Radio website, the blogtalkradio.com/debatetalk4u, if you want to gain access to the chat room. All right, so let's go to the rebuttal part of this debate. It's going to be 10 minutes each. All right, we're going to go back to Nathan Israel. Let me open up the phone line. Let me set up his timer and go ahead. You can go ahead, brother.
One second. Okay, yeah. All praises to Mighty Yahweh. Let all the fault be on me, but let all the praises be to Yahweh. I want to address some of the things that brother came out with. Now, you talk about the seed of the serpent. That's what I was going to get to. See, that's that New Testament, you know what I mean, that a poison his head and think is talking about Satan. But that's nothing, you know what I mean, right there, that's, and I said, we want to get our people away from the New Testament. Right here, this is the Zohar, this is Jewish mysticism. This is the foundation of the Kabbalah right here. It says, and the serpent, Rabbi Isaac said, this is the evil tempter. Rabbi Judah said it literally means serpent. And they consulted Rabbi Simeon. He said to them, both are correct. It was Samuel. He approached on a serpent, for the idea form of the serpent is Satan. It is written, the serpent is subtle, the angel of death, and he brought death to the world. Right? But it goes deeper into this thing, because it said Eve bore Cain from the filth of the serpent. Meaning, the serpent had sex with Eve. This is the other seed. This, you know what I mean? This is the other lie they teach. They teach this lie, and they teach the lie about them coming down. See, the thing about it is they don't want to really tell you what story they coming from, because the book of Enoch says that the angels had sex with animals, came down, had sex with horses and elephants, and this is no joke. So it's like, okay, you got to tell me where you getting this information. Tell me which angel you're talking about. right here it says in the Jewish mysticism, I can go back to the book of Enoch, which I will show. But Eve bore Cain from the filth of the serpent. Therefore, from him were descended all the wicked generations. From his side is the abode of spirits and demons. Therefore, all spirits and demons are half the class of human beings below and half the class of angels above. So they just trying to say it's half and half. We got half. This is the wickedness they do, but it also talks about the Nephilim in the Jewish mysticism. This is where they're getting this garbage from. They get a lot of the garbage from either Jewish mysticism or the lies in the New Testament. Right here, it says of the Nephilim, literally the fallen ones. It is said, and the sons of God saw the daughters of men that they were fair. These form a second category of the Nephilim, already mentioned above. In this way, when God thought of making man, he said, let us make man in our image, etc. He intended to make him head over the celestial beings, who to be his deputies, like Joseph over the governors of Egypt. The angels thereupon began to malign him and say, what is man that thou shouldst remember him, seeing that he will surely sin before thee? So God said unto them, if you were on earth like him, he would sin worse. So it was for the sons of God, so the daughters of men, they fell in love with them, and God cast them down from heaven. These were Uzzah and Azel, and from them the mixed multitude derived their souls. Therefore they are called Nephilim, because they fall to fornication with fair women. There's so much wrong with this. Right here it says that the angels that came down, their name were Uzzah and Azel, and they made the mixed multitude. And they caused the people to fall. So it wasn't marriage, it was fornication in the Zohar. And I'm really hoping the brother does denounce the Zohar. I have nothing to do with the Zohar. It's Jewish mysticism. It's garbage. Even though I don't want to name brothers' names that's supposedly popular in the Israelite community that does subscribe to it, the mysticism in it. But right here, it's saying these are the angels that did it, and they fornicated with them. They didn't take wives, as it says in the book of Genesis. They fornicated. But I can continue with it. It's also, I want to address some things he said. Now, he said that the Enoch and all them was wicked, but that just goes against everything. If he says that it really, Genesis 4 and 24 really means that these are the wicked people, or the sons of Seth started to disobey, that garbage. I just proved that Enoch walked with the Most High and Noah was found perfect, so we know what type of people we dealing with, but you want to say that. But what's funny about that, is when let's look at because you also said something. I'm going to go to Jeremiah 31 and 27. I'm gonna read this real quick, and it says, "Behold, the day has come, saith Yahweh, that I will sow the house of Israel and the house of Yehudah with the seed of man and with the seed of beast." So he's going to sow us our seed. He's talking about seed. He want to go to seeds. He said, well, you have to understand the seed. Listen, that's what I'm talking about. So he's going to sow the house of Israel, which we are the sons of Elohim, of Israel. The sons of Elohim in those days were obviously Enoch, because the people trying to make a book, you know what I'm saying? It's a lie, but they trying, he got a book dedicated to him. And then he's going to say all the people wicked. That's totally going against the book of Enoch. So the brother don't believe in the book of Enoch. So we both on here don't believe in the book of Enoch. So people call in try to defend Enoch, you might as well, chalk it up, because that's a lie. He gonna say all of them is wicked, and Noah and the Methuselah, all this lineage right here, and they was the one that started to profane the Almighty's name. You know what I'm saying? But I never said, the brothers acting like I said that the angels don't look like us. Of course the angels look like us. You know what I mean? But who are these angels trying to kill the Almighty? I want some names. I don't want you to say you heard, because I think you referenced counsel and not see it, and I hope you didn't say that. You know what I mean? Like, would you really reference these Catholic enemies, Roman Catholic enemies? You wouldn't. I didn't think he did, so I'm just tripping. But who are these angels? I want to know their name. Now, they got Uzzah and Azel, and I got more I can read from the book of Enoch. It goes into detail about how certain angels taught man certain things, and that's why the whole mankind fall to wickedness or some garbage. But yeah, man. So the seed, I think I done been over the seed. Who are the angels trying to be? And how tall are these giants, though? I really want you to act, because I showed how the one giant, he had a bed that was 13.5 feet by 6 feet. Now, I'm thinking that, that's why David was able to pick up Goliath's sword and chop his head off, because they were big people, but they weren't big enough to, not to get killed. I want to show in the book of Revelation right here. Let's go to Revelation 12. I got so much stuff to bring. I only got 3 more minutes. But let's go to a little bit. Hit the Revelation 12 and 7. And there was a war in heaven. And Michael and his angels fought against the dragon. The dragon fought, and his angels. They prevailed not, neither was their place found any more in heaven. And this great dragon was cast out. That old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceived the whole world. He was cast out to the earth, and his angels was cast out with him. Now this sounds just like that Azel and UL, all them dumb, and they got more of his angels, so-called wicked angels, you know what I mean, that was trying to fight against the Almighty and think they're going to win. I mean, it's the evil in the city, and Yahweh has not done it. Was Yahweh going to have somebody? I mean, Yahweh said he does not die. That's the problem with a lot of, that's why the New Testament got people messed up. They believe that Christ is the Most High, and they say he died. Yahweh does not die. Nobody can try to kill the Almighty. I don't even know why people will try to war against the Almighty, but this is the kind of stuff that we dealing with in the New Testament. Okay. So let me go in the book of Enoch, though. Before I, don't have no more time left. I'm going to the book of Enoch. I'm going to go to chapter 10. Chapter 10 and verse 5 says, Bind Azazel's hand and foot, and cast him in darkness. Make an opening in the desert, which is in Dudal, cast him therein, and place upon him rough and jagged rocks, and cover him in darkness, and let him provide that. This is the same angel in Jewish mysticism for you Enoch lovers out there. And this ain't just my brother. I love my brother. I love all the people that call in or whatever. Ain't no hatred towards the brother. We disagree. This is false. This is falsehood. And in fact, I'm just trying to figure out what's the story. Was it, whose seed was it? Was it Satan's seed? Or was it these other angels out the cut that it says the same angel, Azazel, the same angel in the Jewish mysticism in the Zohar? You know what I mean? But if you continue in the book of Enoch, verse 9, it talks about by Azazel, and to him ascribe all sin. So all sin comes from Azazel. And Gabriel said unto the Lord, proceed against the bastards and the reprobate and the children of fornication. So it's talking about them committing fornication with which they didn't. I mean, they supposedly took wives. They didn't do fornication. That's what it says in the book of Enoch, because it's lying. It's a bunch of lies, like I said. But also, I want to go to First King. I got 30 seconds left, man. All right, well, I'm going to go to 1 King 22 later, where it talks about a lion spirit. A lion spirit is supposed to be evil. You know what I mean? But nah. We're going to get an understanding of that. But we'll give all praises to the mighty Yahweh. Hallelujah.
All right, once again, we are back. You're listening to Debatetalk4u Radio. Again, that number is 646-716-7320. I'm getting a notification from the Blog Talk Radio personnel that there's maybe a little bit of technical difficulties when it comes to the callers. Hopefully that's all worked out before we get to the public Q&A, because, again, the public Q&A is where you, the listening audience, call in with your questions and your comments. So we apologize for any technical difficulties you may be receiving at this moment. Some people might be calling in, but, they're probably getting bounced off, or, but it's not, it's not us. It's something going on with the Blog Talk servers or some of the things of that nature. They're working on it. But anyway, we got some more debate for you guys. We're still in the rebuttal part of this debate. So now we're going to go to Laron Campbell. Again, it's going to be 10 minutes. Let me open up his phone line and go ahead.
Well, like I said before, there was an attack on the seed of Adam from the very beginning when we see Genesis 3 and 15, when a seed is pronounced to come, right? So the very expression sons of God and daughters of man basically indicate that these are two different kinds of people. One is a product of God, and the other one is a product of man. Now, here's the question. If Seth was not God, why call the sons of God the sons of Seth, basically? If we know that he's not God, why did they call them the sons of God instead of the sons of Seth, basically? So these are two products of God. For instance, Adam was the son of God. When we see the lineage being read all the way back in the book, and it gets all the way back, we see and Seth, which was the son of Adam, and Adam, which was the son of God. See, Adam is a direct product of God. Whereas after Adam's seed basically are in Adam's image and likeness, and not only that, you dealing with a people that is that has to be adopted back into the family of God, because a disconnection took place when they ate from the tree. Therefore, every seed that came from after Adam was contaminated until the seed shall come, which is Christ, to atone and get them back and lined up in place. So let's move on real quick. Let's go to let's just jump to. I'm not dealing with what he's dealing with, as far as dealing with the because I don't really subscribe to Enoch like that. You know, if it bear witness to the book, to the Bible, then I'm with it. So what we must realize is this: we have. Let's jump to this real quick. Let's jump to Peter. Let's jump to Peter real quick. 2 Peter 2:4. It says, "For if God spared not the angels that sinned, but cast them down to hell and delivered them into chains of darkness to be reserved into judgment." So we see that these angels was cast down and was not spared, and he delivered them into hell in chains of darkness. So something took place in order for this to happen. Jude tells us, "And the angels which kept not their first estate, but left their own habitation." In other words, they didn't keep their area. They didn't keep their where they had the deeds at, where they was living at. They didn't keep their estate, but they left their own land or their own or what they populated, their own habitation, and they came to earth. And it says, "Have he reserved an everlasting change under darkness until the judgment of the great day." So we know these are the same angels as listed in 2 Peter 2:4. Now here's the thing. It says, "Even as Sodom and Gomorrah and the cities about them in like manner, giving themselves over to fornication and going after strange flesh." Underline strange flesh. Because one of the things is, and it says, "even as Sodom and Gomorrah." In other words, these angels did the same thing as Sodom and Gomorrah. One of the things they went after was strange flesh. When you look that word up in the Greek, that means different types of flesh. So when you go back to Sodom and Gomorrah, when you see these men basically doing homosexual acts, they also did an act of going after strange flesh just as well. When you see them trying to basically intermingle with the angels and basically have sexual sins with the angels, strange flesh. When it means to change one's own habitation, that means you put off the extraterrestrial and you put on basically the physicality of what's earth basically. So this is what's going on. So we see that they went after strange flesh, and says are set forth for an example, suffering the vengeance of eternal life, of eternal death, basically eternal fire. Let's go on. One of the things we must realize is the purpose of Satan to do this is to corrupt the human race. In other words, we see in the text plenty of times where he has tried to destroy the human race before and after the flood. As we see it done with when we get down to Noah and his family are the only pure Adamite stock. When you look at that word, as I said, the word when it talks about Noah was perfect in his generations, that word means that he was without spot or blemish. He was basically a pure Adamite, basically, when you're dealing with that. Now, one of the things we must realize is that these guys were wicked, and during Noah's time, the 8 was the only righteous Adamites in his time. All else was killed during the flood. So we must ask ourselves that how did these daughters of Cain, or how did they make it to the other side of the flood? That's what we must realize. Because if they was killed off on this side, how did they make it on the other side? As the text said, there were giants in those days before and after that. After what? After the flood, as Moses is relating and giving us insight on. Let's continue on. Let's deal with some of these giants. Because we have a lot of these giants that we see as they coming up out of Exodus and coming out of the wilderness and going into the promised land. They battling all giants. And one of the things is this. What can make a regular woman or regular man produce giants? That's foolishness. And if the Bible says that we are the son, just in that case, we have the sons of God that we see. If you want to say the sons of God, then you have to look at knowing them as being the sons of God as well, and answer yourself, how was these giants produced after the fact? Where did they come from after the fact? After the flood, matter of fact. If the daughters of killed during this time. So if the two union of regular people produce giants, then why aren't they producing giants today? That is folly. That is foolishness. This is telling you that one product of God intermingled with the next. And the biblical text said that they are not given into marriage. But if they disobey God and they have their bodies at the similitude of men and they change their habitation, then they have the capabilities to look on women and basically go after strange flesh. Something when that says the Greek flesh that is not ordinary flesh, that is not that is different flesh from another flesh, basically. So they had the ability to manifest in the flesh. Let's move on. Let's deal with some of these giants real quick. So you have the fact that the giants, the Anakims were great tall people of stature just as well. It says, whether should we, this is Deuteronomy 1:28, whether should we go up? Our brethren have discouraged our hearts, saying the people is greater and taller than we. The cities are great and walled up to heaven. And moreover, we have seen the sons of Anakims there. So let's go on to another one. It says the Emans dwelt 30 times. This is Deuteronomy 2:10. A people great and many and tall as the Anakims. So this basically is telling them how tall they was. Then we have also Joshua 11:21. It says, at that time came Joshua and cut off the Anakims from the mountains, from Hebron, from Deborah, and from Abnab, and from all the mountains of Judah, and from all the mountains of Israel. Joshua destroyed them utterly with their cities. There was none of the Anakims left in the land of children of Israel, only in Gaza, in Gath, and in Ashdod there remained. So these are definitely giants. The land of Ammon was a land of giants just as well, for giants dwelt in that time. Deuteronomy 2:19 states that just as well. And the children of Ammon removed a lot of them just as well. Then we have the valley of giants, as mentioned in Joshua 15 and 8. It says, and the border went up by the valley of the son of Hinnom unto the south side of the Jebusites, and the same is Jerusalem. And the border went up to the top of the mountain and lied there before the valley of Hinnom westward, which is the end of the valley of the giants northward. So we see that these giants are after the flood just as well in the times of Joshua. So we must ask ourselves, where are these sons? Where are these people that call?
All right, once again, you're listening to Debatetalk4u Radio. Title of this debate, did the angels impregnate women creating giants? Did angels impregnate women creating giants? The number is 646-716-7320. You're now listening to Debatetalk4u Radio. So now we're going into the cross-examination part of this debate. This is the part of the debate where both opponents has prepared some questions to ask each other. And one person, of course, is going to start off with Nathan in Israel asking questions to Laron. And once he asks the question, his opponent has 1 minute to answer the question. Once the woman is up, he's going to hear this sound. So once you hear that sound, that means it's time to go to the next question. And the person asking the question, after the buzzer, goes off, you can briefly rebut, but make sure you go directly into another question right after you briefly rebut. So let's go to Nathan. He's going to ask questions to Laron. We'll open up the phone lines and go ahead with the questions.
All right. All praises to the mighty Yahweh. This is a question, because I'm just going to get some easy questions, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to lead it up to it. But how tall are the giants, do you think? Because basically I'm asking this because I want to know, I'll tell you how the Philistines might be. I referenced the dude bed that was 13.5 feet by 6 feet. And I would say, yeah, he might be 12 feet tall, maybe a little bigger. If he laying in the bed like that, that's how big I think the giants would be. They wouldn't be. But how big do you think they would be? Because I do believe in giants, I know you said went 2 minutes talking about, giants. I do believe in giants. How big do you think giants?
Well, it says our king of Bashan is described as a giant whose iron bedstead was 13.5 feet long and 6 feet wide. This is not a measurement of wickedness, but a material bed for a giant body measuring nearly 13 feet tall. It says Bashan is also called the land of the giants just as well. So these giants was possibly the same size as we see in that area from 13 feet, but that is still taller than what we are. Just think that's an overpass. I drive trucks for a living. Most trucks are 13.6. In other words, to pass up on the overpass. Do you know how tall that is? That's taller than the truck. That's taller than the trailer, than the overpass. So they were definitely tall. So with union of two people, of men and women creating these things, two products, one of them had to be a product of God, and the other one was a product of regular man. A supernatural thing took place.
All right. Well, leading up to that, these half gods. Do you know the name of any of these half? No, I'm gonna deal with something else though. When it comes to the angels being locked up forever, okay. Well, you know what? I want to say that we definitely agree that the angels that it was giants, and the giants were maybe around 12 feet and all that type of stuff. That's why our people, it talks about our people, and I was about to read it, how we were killing those giants. The house of Israel, it was David's servant, he was killing those giants. So, even though we may say it's a big stature and all that, we was taking them out. They wasn't that big. You know what I'm saying? So, and when you talk about the angels, like I said, you would have to, all the people that agree with the book of Enoch, you say he was 3,000 ells tall. And that's why I asked the brother. And anybody else, how big do you think these giants is? You know what I'm saying? You talk about these, they come from these angels. But I want to know, that's the question. Who's the father of these half man, half angels? What's the name of this angel?
Well, I don't really know what the names of these angels was, but I do know this. I do know a product of God changed its inhabitant and came upon the daughters of man, and this is also proved in other cultures. This is proved in Kemet just as well, when they call the Thoth and the seven sages, Horus, the distant one. These are concepts that we see that these people say that the Dogon, they all have the same similar things. The Mesopotamians, when you talk about the Epic of Gilgamesh, it talks about the Anunnaki, or the Anak, sons of Anak. I believe these are the children of Anaki. These are the children of Anak. This is what the text is talking about. They came upon the daughters of man and planted seed among them, and therefore produced giants of what we call, and what they in the ancient days called heroes. And Nimrod was one of them, basically, before and after the flood.
Okay.
This is when these giants came forth.
Okay, now I wanted to ask you, is Satan and Lucifer the same being? Or similar, are they the same person?
Well, he was Lucifer first. Then he became an adversary of God. So, yes, they are basically the same people.
Oh, okay, because, of course, I just want to say that, Lucifer is the king of Babylon. It's a man on earth. You read in the book of Isaiah 14, you'll see that. We don't have time for that. But as you can see, Lucifer is not Satan. Satan's an angel. Lucifer is a man. So, you don't have to basically understand the angels. But
can I address that?
Go right ahead, brother.
Now, when you talk about Lucifer, when you look up the word, it's halal. So when you and the other word is also Hillel. And when you look it up, it means one of them means to be boastful or the shining one or the light barrier, basically. And this is rightfully translated, because when you look at it, what it's saying is, he says, "How art thou fallen from heaven, Lucifer, the son of the morning star?" It says, "For Satan have said in his heart," or Lucifer have said in his heart. So he's boasting, basically. So when you look at the word, it means boastful. So they call him Lucifer, basically. But when you deal with Ezekiel, this is the law of double reference. What's the law of double reference? Where an earthly king has been addressed, but there is a spirit, this backing or the counselor of this.
All right, real quick. I don't know when my time leaving, but are you circumcised?
Yes, I'm circumcised.
Can Christ profit you something?
You say what?
We're going to Galatians 5:2. Behold, I, Paul, saying to you that all ye that be circumcised, Christ shall profit you nothing. What do you feel? How you feel about that?
I mean, yeah, he definitely profits me. So he said if you get circumcised, you think a circumcision is basically something that can cause you to be saved, it ain't gonna profit. That don't profit you nothing. The Bible says that those are shadows of things to come. Well, what is we found circumcision taking place in the Egyptian circumcision. What does that mean? That means the cutting off of the flesh to establish a covenant. What does that mean? In other words, that in your flesh a covenant will be established, and if you break that covenant, your seed will be cut off, which passes through the private part, basically.
Now, we know the importance of the 7 everlasting covenants. That was one of the 7 everlasting covenants to Yahweh that would never change. It's everlasting. But, of course, they would always go against that covenant of circumcision.
How can something be everlasting if you break How can something be everlasting if you break the covenant? If you broke it, it would have been everlasting, but if you broke it, how can it be everlasting?
One at a time. I'll answer that because it's probably my turn. It's probably my turn anyway. I might as well answer that. Well, as you can see in Ezekiel 44, verse 9, it talks about how we will not have uncircumcised in heart nor uncircumcised in flesh enter into the temple. So, when you have making a covenant with the Almighty, when you serve Yahweh in righteousness, that's part of that everlasting covenant. When you're doing it in righteousness, of course. Like I said, our generations can turn, but when you are walking with the Almighty, and like I said, and we can keep going. When we talk about the sons of God, why do they call us the sons of God? You say it's impossible to figure that these people that Enoch walked with the Almighty, and Noah would sound perfect, but they're not sons of God. But because Israel is the sons of God, so can they lose their status too, and we lose our?
Yeah,
we gonna. Yeah. Well, let me hear about how the sons of we're not the sons of Elohim anymore. What do you?
Well,
you're not trying to say that humans can't be sons of Elohim. You say every time you talk about it's talking about. Just elaborate. My bad. I'm trying to cut you off.
Well, basically, when you deal with sons of God, you deal with when the only way they can be a son of God is they have to be born of the spirit or circumcised in the heart. Basically, circumcision of the foreskin is just something that was foreshadowed of something to come, basically. So what it's saying is you must be circumcised in your heart. In other words, the covenant may be in your heart. Then once the covenant is in your heart, then you become a adopted son of God. But
that's good. I want to ask one more because I think my time about to come out or whatever, man. But do you think that Satan thinks he can kill the Almighty or beat the Almighty, and Satan has? I know because of course it says Satan has his own army, and you think Satan is a total rebel against the Almighty now and got his own army fighting against the Almighty? It might kill him or something. I mean, let me get an understanding of this. That's what I'm saying.
Satan is a deceiver. Satan is a deceiver, and I'm pretty sure he himself is deceived himself. So he's definitely a deceiver. So as we look at ourselves, as we deceive, and we deceive people, ourselves are deceived. So that's how the game goes. You know what I'm saying? If you deceiving people and you're a deceiver, you deceived yourself because you're going to dig a ditch for yourself.
Okay. Like I said, we see in the scriptures that he definitely is obeying the Almighty. I mean, I'll never see anything called fight against him. That's when you get into the New Testament and the other books that you see that type of behavior. But okay, we got Satan is going against. We deceive, which he didn't come with his armies or nothing like that, like they say in the New Testament, and he fought against Michael and all that. That's him. That's Satan.
Well. There was a battle that took place before man even came to the earth. You know, when you deal with that, for instance, why are the solar systems why is this solar system desolate? What took place? The only thing for a solar system to be desolate, that means war had to take place. So when God came on the scene, he was restoring the earth. He was causing the restoration to take place.
Bro, that mythology, bro.
All right. So we're still in the cross-examination part of this debate. So now we're going to have Laron asking questions to Brother Nathan Israel. And once again, it's 10 minutes each. So let's go to the phone lines, set up the timer, and Laron, go ahead with your questions.
Now, when you talk about the sons of God, are these supposedly to you the sons of Seth?
Yes.
So here's the question I got for you. If
not
these
only,
are the sons,
it's not exclusive though. It's not exclusive. Like, you know, of course we can't say that's exclusive. I hope that's not what you think I mean. That's only exclusive to the sons of Seth. I'm definitely not saying that. That would be foolish.
So are you saying the Cain also has some involvement also as well?
What you mean involvement in what? You're not called the son of Elohim, definitely. You know what I mean? Definitely not that.
Because this is what I want to reference to. Seth didn't have a son until 235 years after creation. You can check this out in Genesis chapter 5, right? So his first son he had was 235 years, right? And then it says, and his son didn't have a son until 325 years after creation. So therefore, you have a total of 560 years. And in these 560 years, Seth only has 2 sons. Now, here's my question to you. If he only has 2 sons during this time, according to Genesis chapter 5, Genesis chapter 6 and 1 says, and it came to pass when men began to multiply on the face of the earth and daughters was born unto them, where did these sons come from? That's the first thing, because we see that it was only 2 sons after 560 years, according to Genesis 5 and 3, 6 and 9. Genesis chapter 5, verse 3, 6, and 9. So my question to you is, if there was only 2 sons, you mean to tell me 560 years went by when it just told you that when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and the sons of God saw the daughters of men that they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose? At this time, 2 sons, it wasn't even a marriageable age, took on these daughters of Cain, supposedly, or the daughters of Adam?
Yeah, let me answer that. Well, if we go to the book of Genesis, we start at chapter 4. There were giants in the earth in those days. And also after that, when the sons of Elohim came to the daughters of men, they bare giants to them. The same became mighty men, which are of old men of renown. And Elohim saw the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of his heart was only evil. And it repented Yahweh that he had made man on the earth, and it grieved him at his heart. And Yah said, I will destroy man, whom I created off the face of the earth, both man and beast, and creeping and fowl of the air, and it repenteth me that I made them. But Noah found grace in the eyes of Yahweh. Now, this is obviously going on in the time of Noah, which is, they definitely had a lot of sons and daughters, man. You know what I'm saying? When you try to go all the way up, this is during the time of Noah, man. It's clear. You know what I mean? And that's the great grandfather is Enoch.
Okay, yeah. So we know definitely this was in the time of Noah as well. We know that. Hold on. Understand this. Now, up until Noah's time, Noah was the only one that was found righteous during his time. Remember, it says that everything was ungodliness and during his time. So we've seen that. Therefore, he caused a flood. Matter of fact, if you look at some of the names that's being passed down, that's being spoken of their names, that there was named these sons of Seth, their names prophesied of the flood. So therefore, from all the way back, stemming back, there was wickedness on the earth. And Moses is proving this when he says, and Seth had a son in his image and likeness. Now, here's the other question I got for you. When you read Genesis 4 and 26, it says, let's jump to it. It says, and Seth said to him also there was born a son, and he called his name he called his name Enos. Then began man to call upon the name of the Lord. Have you ever checked out the Hebrew word when it says began man? Have you checked it out and looked at a verse up in the Hebrew?
You know what? Let me answer. I'm gonna just give me about 20 seconds. I want to answer because no, I'm gonna say no first when it comes to that word. But what I'm also gonna say is, let me say this real quick, that I'm looking up all the different translations because obviously you have a translation that nobody has because all of them, you know what I mean? All of them say so. They all translated from this Hebrew, and I'm seeing about 6 or 7 of them. So which translation are you? Is this your own translation? Because I don't know how to believe yours, but I got a concordance. I'm about to get on it. You know what I'm saying? But in the Torah,
yeah. In this spot, when you read the Torah in this spot, there is not a word for man here. It is then began. That word man is not there.
Yeah, Laron, he has a minute to answer too. Go ahead.
Oh yeah. Well, you said the word man is not mentioned there. Okay, I'm flipping it. Like, what is the relevance to them coming down and having sex with angels and you not mentioning the angels? I'm trying to get that. I'm gonna look up man because everybody always does it. Muslims do this. You don't know Arabic, so you cannot quote the Quran. Then you go to all the different translations and like, well, no, only my translation is the right one because I've seen this word. I mean, I didn't deal with that before, but now I'm looking it up right now. I'm trying to I'm at media right now. I'm trying to the page. Just give me the relevance of the subject at hand, please.
Well, that word means to profane or defile, pollute, desecrate, begin. So what the text is saying is then they begin to profane the name of the Lord. So Seth blind was not godly like you think it was.
Can I say something about that? And that's good because we were talking about Jude. I mean, we were talking about, well, I think, no, it was not Jude. It was the book of Jasher earlier because they were talking about somebody going to come up with some book of Jasher in the Quran. And the book of Jasher talk about how righteous these people were and how, Enoch taught for a long time, taught righteousness. And then it was Noah, Noah went down to that house where Enoch was just to learn righteousness. And it was just like these were the righteous other people. But so what you're saying is they were the degenerates. So you will also be going against that book too. So you don't believe in that one or Enoch, and I don't either. So that's good. We both can agree that them was lying books for different reasons. We can agree that they was lying books. Now, you ask a question, clarify, or give me another one. If I did not answer, please ask me to clarify. I'm sorry.
So I'm trying to basically just stay in the Old Testament because I know you don't subscribe to the New Testament as I see. So I'm just going to deal with you with the Old Testament. Okay, let's go to Genesis. I mean, not Genesis. Let's go jump to.
Wait, hold on. What was you just at though? I finally got the page. I was on some other stuff.
It doesn't matter because I ain't got that much time. We'll deal with that. We'll come back and deal with that. Let's jump with that. Let's go to that. Let's deal with Daniel. Now in the book of Daniel, Daniel talks about Nebuchadnezzar, right? Nebuchadnezzar, he says, let's read Daniel 3. He says, Daniel 3:25. He says, he answered and said, Lo, I see 4 men loose, walking in the midst of the fire, and they have no hurt, and the form of the fourth is like the Son of God. Right? So he calls the form of the fourth like the Son of God. Let's jump to 28. He says, Then Nebuchadnezzar spake and said, Blessed be the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who have sent his angel. So who was that fourth one that was in a similitude like man, but was called a son of God? Because Nebuchadnezzar called him a son of God, and then he called them an angel. So would you agree that sons of God can be called angels?
I mean, of course, the sons of God can be called angels. Is that, I can show you that. But also the sons of Elohim, we are the sons of Elohim, and there was sons of Elohim back in those days that praise Yahweh. You know what I mean? So what was it? You know what I mean? There was some clarity with this. Okay,
all right.
I'll answer the question. Who was the angel? Now, when we talk about the angel, we can reference the book of Judges, chapter 13. We talked about the angel that came to Samson's mother, and he told him, like, you gotta know my name, give the offerings to Yahweh. So when you talk about these different angels that come down and what, I've been asking you the whole time, who was the angel that impregnated, you know what I'm saying, these people? Like, what was any of their names, or what's any of their sons' names, or any of them? Because I'm showing you all their names and all that because I got the information where they get the garbage from. But you know what I'm saying. So when you ask me,
all right, time is up. Once again, hopefully you guys are taking down your notes. There's a lot of information being put out there tonight, as usual on Debate Talk for You. So hopefully you guys take down some notes and call in later on during the public Q&A. Again, the number is 646-716-7320, and let your voice be heard live on the air. But right about now, we're going to take an 8-minute intermission break, guys. Take an 8-minute break. Let the fellas relax for a little while, gather some more information. And when we come back, we're going to go into the second rebuttal. That's going to be 7 minutes each. And after that, we're going to go to the public Q&A. We're going to hear from the listening audience, hear what you guys got to say about this particular debate, and can't wait for the public Q&A. Everybody knows that's my favorite part of the show. So once again, stand by. We're going to take an 8-minute intermission break. We'll be right back after these messages. Stand by.
You don't want to miss the best debate show via internet? Debatetalk4u Radio. Check out the schedule for Monday to Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time or at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. But check out the archives. Go to www.blogtalkradio.com/debatetalk4 and the letter U. You can listen via phone or via Skype by dialing that number 646-716-7320. Again, that's 646-716-7320. You can also go to iTunes in the podcast section. Just type in the search box Debate Talk 4 and letter U, and you'll see the show pop up absolutely free. You check out season 1 all the way up to the present season and enjoy the entire show. So keep it locked on Debatetalk4u Radio. Check us out.
right and living life in the Messiah. The next world is yours. flaming arrows at all your idols. See said when I hold a pen, holy architecture beneath my skin. Hold while the saints come marching in. Volley of the dry bones, see the shim. Ice watch can't freeze the timer. Native pre-Columbian Carolina. Think outside the box, package designer. Royalty merchandise fabric is finer. Understanding the apocrypha. Snapshot, flash, high caliber. Vast knowledges, past colleges. Flicked by the rap photographer. Not clueless. I do this 6 feet fluids, Mount Vesuvius. Shoe fit trueness, lyrical magma. 4 winds flow through global disaster. Warriors like the angel Michael. 144,000 disciples. Study history. Jews of antiquities. Roman destruction. Fleeing cities. Feed your mental. Let it grow. Warrior synonymous with hero. Let my people go. Moshe spoken. Am I my brother's keeper? Yeah, you know it. Metaphors are designed to reveal the shine in your mind like gold and silver. If you keep it real, then I probably feel you. But I spit bars that'll char and grill you.
Shout out Rob Cognito, shout out D, K-Man, Cole, Mars, Dre, Leon, Fred, B, 170, University, VA, Queens, Brooklyn, Harlem, Staten Island, Long Island, Jersey, 7th Street, South Philadelphia, Strawberry Mansion, Belleville, 52nd Street, Atlanta, Detroit, Chicago, the Bay Area, LA, Boston, New Orleans, Miami, Texas, social music. Come on.
The words were framed by the word of God. Open your eyes. Don't catch it first before swine. If you still, then wise. Put up the temple. Proverbs, the earth tremble. Look out the window. See the politics that men do. If I offend you, it's not what I intend to. But I'm sick of seeing y'all niggas get played like Nintendo. I like Mario Brothers, but in the barrio, brothers need to connect like Safario. Work together, produce some, create wealth. Respect self, support family, value health. Practice love, teach the children they're very special. Keep law, love the Father and pray He bless you. Ants know how to do it and stay true to it. You don't know what to do with it, that's why you're losing it. Study.
All praises, all honor, all glory to the supreme intellect of the universe. This is Nasi Yashuvel of Shomrei HaTorah in Atlanta. And if I'm not reading my Torah or suplexing some false deity, I'm listening to my man, Sal Showtime, and Debate Talk for You Radio. Beautiful. Keep doing the good work, brother, bringing forth the information and spreading that love.
Wait. What? I don't even know why you questioning me, man. It's crazy. Everybody always got something to say. Like somebody can't change. Change for the good, for the better. Man, you know what? I got a question for you then. Why do y'all keep judging me? I need to know. Can you tell me? Why do y'all keep judging me? I ain't think so. People talk behind my back, but it don't matter, cause I tell them to they face that you can't judge me. I want this, want and talk this, talk, so do me a favor and don't judge me. I was sent by God to do this job, and it really don't matter if you try to judge me. Can't walk in my shoes or sing my blues, so I tell them to they face that you can't judge me. I'm far from a hypocrite, life I wouldn't get in it. Did my own thing, gang bang, seemed it different. Picture wasn't clear, back then I was so bad, so sad. Lost many friends, got they toes tagged. Guns blast, bullets spread, lost his soul so fast. Tried to run, couldn't get away because his pants sad. Retaliation got me running around with black mask, ski mask, covered up our face as we sped past. Hard racing, let me out this car, then they start blazing. Amazing, cause I felt the angel on the side of me, guiding me. Gotta leave the streets cause God's inside of me. Smoke clear, still here, thanking for a second chance, cause I could've died, trying to ride for a dead man. They was my family, at least that's what I thought they.
You are now inside the Lion's Den. Welcome to Debatetalk4u Radio.
This Eli, I'm checking out Debatetalk4u Radio. When I want to hear the hottest debates in the country, I stay tuned. Shout out to Sal doing his thing. Keep doing the great work, man, and I'm going to keep tuning in.
This is Ronald Francoeur representing from Atlanta, Georgia. And when I'm not busy in the studio, I'm checking out Debatetalk4u Radio. Keep up the great work, Sal Showtime.
All right, guys, we are back once again. You're officially listening to Debate Talk for You Radio. I'm your host, Sal Showtime, and welcome back to the Lions Den. That's right, guys. We have a lot more debate for you guys, and again, we're going to go to the people pretty soon for the public Q&A. So if you're listening on social media, if you're listening via internet, make sure you call in and let your voice be heard about this particular debate. Did angels impregnate women creating giants? Again, the number is 646-716-7320. Once you dial that number, just press the number 1, and then we'll add you to the conversation. If you're an international listener, you have to call in via Skype. We have a lot of Skype callers I see on the switchboard right about now, checking out the show, Debate Talk for You. I appreciate you. Once again, if you have a question, we want to hear from you guys. We like to hear from the people out there that tune in to Debate Talk for You Radio. But for now, let's get into the second rebuttal part of this debate. That's going to be 7 minutes each. And we're going to go back to Nathan Israel. And I'm going to open up his phone line, set up the timer, and go ahead, brother.
All praises to the mighty Yahweh. Hallelujah. The false. Now, basically, what we're looking for is to own up to one of the stories of something. Now, you make different claims like this happened and this happened, but I'm showing the different accounts. Showing in the Zohar how these same angels that are in the book of Enoch, they're the ones impregnating. But we're also seeing that Satan was cast out, like it says in the New Testament. And he came down now, and he impregnated women. You know, so this Cain was the seed of the serpent, which was half angel and half man. We got the same wicked philosophy that's going on in our people. I know this personally. I know a brother who knows congregation. And he wants me to send him the information of it being a Jewish mysticism, which, you know, like I said, that's what it is. And, you know, the New Testament follows behind, you know, it's called, I want to talk about rebuttals. I want to read something real quick. And again, I saw my eyes, and I slept and saw in heaven above, and behold, a star fell from heaven. And it rose to eat a pasture among those oxen. After I saw large and black oxen, and behold, they changed all their stars and pasture and their cattle and began. So right here we see a star from heaven, which is the angel. It's coming down, and it's going among the oxen. All right, to live with each other. Again, I saw a vision, looked toward heaven, and behold, I saw stars descend and cast themselves down from heaven like the first star, and they became bulls among those cattle and pasture with them among them. And I looked at them and saw, behold, they let out their private members like horses and began to cover the cows of the oxen. And all the cows of the oxen became pregnant, and bare elephants, camels, and asses. All the oxen feared. So the book of Enoch is lies. Me and the brother can agree. So, you know, I know people listen and say, yes, it is angels because I bear witness with the book of Enoch. And I want you guys to call in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, hold on, Nathan. I just poured the time just now. Hold on, Nathan. Hold on. Nathan, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Nathan?
I'm proving that me and the brother don't believe in the garbage that's in this book. Me and the brother don't believe the garbage in this book. It's the book of Enoch. Because he don't believe there's no 3,000 elves that the giants are 3,000 elves tall. I want somebody calling talking about, that's not it.
All right, hold on, Nathan Israel. You're kind of breaking up, man. I'm hearing some technical issues there's breaking up. You know, I don't know if you can fix that at the moment, but we're not hearing you clearly. I just want to give you a few minutes. I paused the time, though, so, you know, don't worry, you still have your time, man. Once again, the number is 646-716-7320. We're going to go to the people real soon, guys. So, you know, again, if you have a question, feel free to call in, or if you already called in, it's press number 1, and we can add you into the conversation. Right now, you know, I'm having some technical difficulties on Nathan Israel, and I just want to make sure everything is clear for the people that's taking down notes. Let's go back to Nathan. Hold on. All right, Nate, let me see if it's cleared up now. Let me hear you. Get a radio check.
Praise y'all. Praise y'all.
It's still a little bit broken up. Yeah, it's still a little bit broken up, man. Is it on speakerphone?
1 second, man.
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you a little bit. You can hear me, yeah. Now, this is 1 Kings chapter 22 and 22. And it said, Yahweh said unto him, wherewith? And he said, I will go forth and be a lying spirit in the mouth of all his prophets. And he said, I shall persuade him and prevail also and go forth. Now, he stood, I'm going to keep going. Now, therefore, behold, Yahweh has put a lying spirit in the mouth of all these thy prophets, and Yahweh has spoken evil concerning thee. So right here we're saying this one lying spirit is in the mouth of 400 prophets. If you check out the beginning, I think it's verse 6, it lets you know how many of these prophets came up with all types of boasts. It was about 400 of them. But we see in the New Testament, we got those evil demons, which y'all was supposedly, some of y'all supposed to be able to cast out and all types of crazy stuff with them demons y'all dealing with. Because I can go into the New Testament where it says that the devil's angels are the demons. So in these demons y'all supposed to cast out, this whole rule about when you cast out 1 to 7 of the demons come back, that's all garbage right here. We seen this lying spirit, he's with all the hosts of all, all the hosts of the Almighty. You know what I mean? So we ain't talking about some of them locked in a cage somewhere, or, and then the lying spirit came out and still serving the Almighty, not serving Satan. So what are the evil? Isn't that evil? Ain't nobody serving Satan. Ain't no angels ain't nobody fighting against the Almighty. That's foolishness. And that's actually, you know what I mean, with all this mysticism and the New Testament does nothing but egg it on. But when you talk about they cast out a spirit, it was legion. I mean, it was 2,000, because when they cast it out, 2,000 pigs died. So we got one lion spirit in the mouth of 400 prophets, and then we got 2,001 man in the New Testament. But these are the, you know what I'm saying, these are the different things that happen when you believe in these type of lies. It's really, you know what I mean? So when you read like when that boy is white. Now, in the book of Enoch, chapter 10, it was 106, where it says that Noah was white and red all over. And it talks about Methuselah. So me and the brother agree that, you know what I mean, when it talks that they are righteous, man. I do agree. I do know that Noah was a righteous man. Enoch walked with the Almighty. So we can't, you're trying to spit on their name like this. It's not cool at all. But these are those righteous, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't see why you would do that, but it says the same thing in the book of Enoch and in the book of Jasher. We know that these are righteous, man, that we dealing with. It's only this brother that would come and say that they was wicked. But yeah, if he does say they're wicked, then he disagrees with all these books. And I disagree with him too for different reasons, but at least we can both come together and say we're against the book of Enoch and we're against the book of Jasher. Because it's saying that in the book of Jasher it talks so positive about the sons of Seth, it's ridiculous. And it goes and elaborates on the righteous deeds that they did. You know what I'm saying? So, but we can talk about the Noah being white and the angels in the book of Enoch being white and the Almighty being described as white. Let me just go to at least one of them. Now, right here it talks about in chapter 87. Or from heaven beings who look like white men. This is right after they talk about seven angels. And I think that's in chapter 71. Oh, man. The Son of Man right here, read this. Kings and the mighty and exalted, and those who rule the earth shall fall down before him in their faces and worship and set this hope upon that Son of Man and petition at his hand. And nobody worship the Son of Man. That's what it says in the book of Enoch, though, right here, chapter 62 and 9. But it also, when it talks about, I hope nobody calls in and tries to defend this book of Enoch. You know what I mean? It says that the head of days had a head like pure wool. And with him, the head of days, his head white and pure as wool. They talking about his head is white in the book of Enoch. White. That's why he looked like the sons of angels. He looked like an angel because he was white. That's what it says in the book in chapter 106 of the book of Enoch. So, and it attributes white skin to being an angel, which we know that's falsehood. So when the brothers say, who is this angel? I don't.
All right, time is up. So we're going to go to Laron Campbell with a second rebuttal, and right after that, we're going to go to the people out there that call in and press the number 1. We want to hear from you guys. Once again, the number is 646-716-6955. 7320. You can call in via phone or via Skype. Press the number 1, and we'll add you into the conversation. We're going to go in order and take your questions, and right after this second rebuttal. So let's go to Laron Campbell, and let me open up his phone line, and go ahead.
Now, I tried to be nice, but I see you can't be nice in the den, in the lion's den. So Sal took him and he threw him in this cage. Now I'm about to chew him up because what he failed to realize is this. Number one, you spend so much time dealing with what Enoch or what these other books saying, and you don't even know your own book. If you want to debate with somebody on Enoch, debate with them on Enoch. But before you debate with them on Enoch, know your own book. Because I'm going to stay in Genesis and prove to you that these sons of God are descendants, are a product of God, are angels, basically. Now, here it is. Check this out. Now, you talk about the daughters of men, right? When you talk about the daughters of men, when you look at that, that's 120. The daughters of Adam, basically, in the definite article, basically. So this is what this is talking about. Not the daughters of Cain, as supposed. For number one, is this the daughters of Cain did not make it on the other side of the flood. So my question, they was killed, matter of fact. Matter of fact, we can bring that out real quick. Genesis 6:18. But with thee will I establish my covenant. And thou shalt come into the ark, thou and thy sons and thy wife and thy wives, with thee. Now, these are the sons of Seth. These are basically Noah's son, that in his generation, they was perfect. In other words, they was pure Adamites. Now, what he needs to answer is how did these giants other side of the flood? If the sons of Noah was descendants of Seth, if he believed that it was only basically the descendants of Seth was the sons of God. That's first off. Now here's another thing. And Genesis 7:7. And Noah went in and his sons and his wife and his sons' wives with them into the ark because the waters of the flood, basically. So the waters of the flood prevailed. So we see that it was Noah's and his sons, basically. So these are the sons of Seth, as we see. So we need to understand that how and who are these daughters of man, or what they call daughters of daughters of Cain. Did they make it to the other side of the flood? What happened? Because we see that they come on the other side of the flood just as well. So when we look up the word renown, that these were men of renown, when we look at that, means they had a name, men of honor and authority, as we see in Numbers 6:2. We see this stuff. As we see when we look at Numbers 6:2, it says, and they rose up before Moses with certain of the children of Israel, 250 princes of the assembly, famous in the congregation, men of renown. So when we look at the words men of renown, we realize that these giants were men of renown or giants of renown. They were heroes. So what they begin to do, the ancients, is take these heroes and make them into what you call Greek mythology, knowing that it spun off the actual Bible. So this is where this came from. Let's go into some more stuff. Because he needs to understand that. How did they come to the other side of the flood? Don't worry about these books. Handle your own book. Bust the Bible like a rifle. And that's what we're trying to do here. Because I ain't here to play games with you. Now understand this. Enoch was godly. Noah and his sons was godly. We see that these sons of Seth that he's talking about, we see that they wasn't even of marriageable age. One of them was, we see that there was only two of them in 560 years after creation. But these sons of God, these sons of God begin to go on the daughters of men at the very beginning.
So he has a problem right there. He has to explain that. And he can't explain that. So we see there is an attack on the Adamites and the seed of Adam to basically stop the seed that shall come. This happened in the days of Josiah, as we see. This happened in the days of Moses. So we see that there is an attack by the adversary on the seed. But before this attack came, we see this taking place. Now, one of the things I want to bring out real quick is in Job, because he has not answered Job. Job 38:7. Let me jump there real quick. Let's jump up. It says Job 38:6. Whereupon are the foundations therefore fat. Let's jump up a little bit more. Jump up right here. It says 38:4. Where was thou when I laid the foundations of the earth? Declare if thou hast understanding. Who have laid the measure thereof? If thou knowest, or who have stretched the line upon it, whereupon are the foundations thereof fastened? Or who have laid the cornerstone? When the morning stars sang together and all the sons of God shouted for joy. In other words, Job, he is telling Job, where was thou when I created the earth? And when it was done, the sons of God shouted for joy. And when they shouted for joy, God began to basically make man on the earth as well. So he's talking about how he fast or stretched forth the line thereupon, the foundation thereof, or who laid the cornerstone thereof. So this is what he's talking about. And the sons of God shouted for joy, the morning stars. Angels are called morning stars. He needs to answer these things. Don't worry about this. We dealt with Daniel. We dealt with Genesis. And with that being said,
all right, time is up. So now we go on to my favorite part of the show, is the public Q&A. Again, for those people that just chimed in, this is the part of the show where you, the listening audience, if you're listening on social media, Facebook, Blog Talk Radio, or via internet, anywhere across the world, you can call in with your questions and your comments via phone or via Skype. I'll dial in the number 646-716-7320. Once you dial that number, press the number 1, and we can add you to the conversation. For those people that's in the chat room, if you have a question and you don't feel like calling in, you can type them in the chat room, and I will read it out to the special guest live on the air. So let's go to the people to hear what you guys got to say. Again, for the listening audience, there's no foul language when you call in. Keep it clean, keep it professional, and due to time constraints, keep your questions and comments brief, unless I feel the dialogue is needed for edification purposes. So let's go to. Oh yeah, by the way, special guest. If you after you answer the question, you guys can ask each other questions or dialogue briefly before you move on to the next question. You can do that. So let's go to the first person. Let's go to 305-924. You're live on the air. 305-924. You're live on Debatetalk4u Radio. 305-924. Can you hear me? All right. Like I said, I was getting some technical difficulties for Blog Talk. You want to say something? Go ahead.
Yeah, man, I want to say something real quick. I want to answer this question real quick. Now, it's funny you brought up Job 38, man, because we always show people that that's what it means when you go to Genesis 1 and 26. Let us make man in our image. It wasn't talking about Christ like a lot of people like to lie about. And also the same thing in Genesis 11 and 7. You know what I mean? Where it says, go to. Let us go down and there confound their language. Let us. Who was talking about the angels? So I'm glad you went there. Just to, I wanted to point that out. That, I know you went there. Those are sons of Elohim. I'm not taking that away from him. I don't know why he thought I was going to take that away from him. It's just that, Enoch can definitely be considered a son of Elohim as the house of Israel. If you and I are considered sons of Elohim, his sons, but we would die like men. We consider the sons that, come on, man. You talking about the sons of Seth? You can slander them all you want to, but it's just not the case. But what I want to say real quick.
You can respond, Laron, if you want that. You can respond. You can dialogue.
Yeah, basically, I want him. Matter of fact, I don't even want to respond. You can just go to the questions because this is their time.
Okay.
All right. Once again, this is your time, guys. We're going to the people. Let's see what you guys got to say. Again, the number is 646-716-7320. Let's go to 252-883. You're live in air. Oh, man, that call is dry. I'm thinking we have some technical difficulties tonight. Wow, I don't know. Nobody else could. I'm chiming in. Let me see. Let me go to the next call. Let's go to 423-320. You're live in air.
Hey, Sal, can you hear me clearly?
How you doing, Diane? I can hear you loud and clear. Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. Hey, let me just bless the Most High God and who's possessor of heaven and earth, and through His Son Jesus the Christ. This is let me just mention this about the news. How low can these people go, or the Edomites? These young black men, 11 to 13, won the championship baseball game. I know this is kind of off in left field. If you don't know by now, these people, they don't quit, they don't stop. These boys, and then they took their championship. These people are crazy. They took their championship. No, these people are crazy. They took their championship away, and then the Brian Williams. It just telling you who these people are. They lie about everything, and it's this media and the police people, instigate and get these things started. These people are crazy. But anyway, here's another thing. Before I get to Laron and the other guy, about the angels. I just wanted to put this out in the atmosphere, out online while I have a chance. This goes out to Josh. If he don't repent and stop disrespecting his elders, those people that brought him along, if you don't repent, you're going to pay, brother. You're going to pay. But anyway, that's all I want to say about that. And Josh, you need to pray for the people instead of talking about them. And here's another thing: I want to ask you, what is worse? Tell me what is worse? Is it an envious, blasphemous, hypocritical boaster, or a vicious, slanderous backbiter? The backbiting gossiper. Which one is worse between them two? That's all I want to say about that. Anyway,
I want to say something real quick. And
your followers, Josh, you all need to repent. And all your yes man people.
Sister Diana?
Giving you eight.
I want to comment.
Let the brother's comment there, but Josh is not here to represent himself, so I guess you got to call him whenever he's here. Yeah. But go ahead, guys. Go ahead.
I don't necessarily agree with coming at the brother like that because I ain't got no ill feelings. He debated Moray Shire, and you see who won that one. You know what I mean? But the brother, he's still my brother, so I ain't got nothing against the brother like that, man. But I know that the kike is a liar. This fake Jew. That's why we bring out the Zohar, because we got some brothers who are really representing you. I don't want to say no names, but you know what I mean. They are representing this Jewish mysticism and this wickedness. So yeah, they are liars. The one that's in the media and all that, and through they Kabbalah, through they call it the tree of life, and through you know what I mean, and the book of Enoch and all the rest of this garbage mysticism. You know what I mean? So yeah, you are correct on that, and that's why I wanted to come in and expose some of this mysticism they try to hide. You know what I mean? That's all I want to say. But I do want to address something about what you said to me earlier. But I don't want to take too much time. I think I'll hold on to it.
No, you can go ahead, guys. It's your time. You can
go ahead.
You can dialogue with each other briefly. Go ahead.
All right. Well, I want to say this real quick. Well, basically, we see that the Philistines were giants. So are you saying the son of Ham were half angel? That's what I'm going to ask the brother. Is the sons of Ham half angels, being that they giant Philistines?
Yeah, you see the sons of Ham. They mixed in just as well as the son of Shem. So Shem also too with the Amalekites, because the Amalekites was giants just as well. And you see also you see a mixture. Not all the Amalekites was giants, but they were mixing in. Just like for us dealing with the sons of Ham, not all the sons of Ham was giants, but you had these giants. There was the angels that came down as well, and before they was locked up, because they was locked up after the fact, after they continued to do the thing, then therefore they was locked up after the flood.
No, it wasn't. Because it's some translation that said they was locked up for 70 generations, and some of them say they were locked up forever. And I can show all that or whatever, but nah, because you say they locked up after the flood, then why they come down after the flood dealing with the sons of Ham, if that's the case? You know what I'm saying? When they locked up and some of them escaped, did the other group go AWOL? I need to know these answers. I need to see it.
Well, in the New Testament, you see these angels. You see angels coming down and loosing some of these angels from in Revelations from chains and bondage in the book of Revelations, and loosen them to go forth in the earth, basically to fulfill certain things that needs to be fulfilled. So I don't believe, me personally, it probably was a possibility that there was some before then, and there was some that made the same attack as well. The second,
I didn't read the stories. I'm trying to read whatever story, whatever you get in yours. I didn't read them. That's why I want some clear answers. All the stories is garbage. You know what I'm saying? From the Zohar to the Book of Enoch. You know what I mean? To the fact that I'm trying to fight against the Almighty.
Well,
I see it written down instead of people just saying, well, it may have been, it's a possibility.
Well, this is my question to you. Because you worried about all these books. But I don't think you even really dealing with what's in the book that you even read, which is the Torah, because the Torah tells you that the sons of God came on the sons of the daughters of men. Now, if it came on the daughters of men, right, then these are the daughters of Adam. Would you agree with that? Or the daughter of men in general? Or the daughters of men in general? Would you agree with that? Your phone chopping up. You chopping up a lot.
Yeah, phone kind of like acting up a little bit.
Well, Adam, you hear me? Yeah, everyone is in it.
Is you on speakerphone, or are you on some type of mic or something?
So everything descended from Adam, right? So what would you get?
Yeah, it's still breaking up like very bad though. It's kind of breaking up.
Yeah, what kind of if you on speakerphone, you can't be on speakerphone on here because it doesn't work good. You need to talk to the mic a little bit better, or if you in front of a fan, I might have to call on something else. Yeah, you might have to call in from another line. Because you're chopping up pretty bad.
All right, so if you could just call back. Let's call right back and press number 1. That's coming in real bad, man. It's coming in real bad. And I want to make sure the listening audience is hearing the information. All right, so once again, let's go to the people out there. Let's go to 305-924. You're live on air. 305-924. You're live on Debatetalk4u Radio. 305. Can you hear me? Yeah, I think certain people can hear me and certain people can't hear me. Wow. It's one of those nights tonight, man. It's crazy. One of those nights.
Yeah, you got everybody. Basically, there's so much going on tonight. You got Tazariak them on. They probably off now, but I know they was on Talk of the Titans. And you got Carl Albert having something. So you got so much stuff going on tonight. A lot
of activity. Let's go to 847-338. You're live on air. 847-338. You're live on the Debatetalk4u Radio. 847. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? 847. Yeah, man, it's one of those nights, man. Seriously, it's crazy. Man, once again, I apologize for sitting on it. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's going on. But apparently some people could hear me, some people can't, or I can't hear them speaking. So, again, I got a notification that Blog Talk Radio is having some issues with the servers, things of that nature. Hopefully they get that fixed up. But we're still waiting for Nathan Israel to call back in. And he hasn't called back in yet, again. So if you're out there, brother, you got to press the number 1. We have a lot of callers, man. You got to press the number 1. All right, so anything you want to expound on, Laron, before we continue?
Yeah, basically, the brother, he needs to really get a hold of his own book and, read some, study up on a little bit of information from his own book rather than going to these other books, because he has to answer some questions that's in the Bible, which he did with the Torah, before he can even go on to these other books. And I think that he failed to do that tonight. I could have brought out a little bit much more, but I wanted to try to stay in the Old Testament with him and try to help him out in the Old Testament and show him a couple of few things. Therefore, he can deal with those things. But he's so off track. We have so many ancient cultures that say the people of the stars came down and gave men knowledge or taught them these different things. So it's a lot of information out here. When you talk about the Epic of Gilgamesh, you talk about the sons of Anaki coming down, and they were supposed to be from another planet, and they come down, and they basically cause men to be. They come and mate with the daughters of men, and then they cause the men to be servants of them, and mine gold for them, for their planet. So these are stories that are told, with some of them probably fabricated, but for the most part, everyone has a story of knowledge coming outside of man and coming down to give man knowledge. And the Bible calls it basically doctrine of devils or angels of light, basically. So when we look in the book of Jude and deal with these different texts, we see that they changed they inhabited where they was, or their estate, and came down from the heavens unto earth and took on the daughters of women, the daughters of man, basically, which was the daughters of Adam and also the Adamites, basically. So he has a lot of things that he has to answer, and he has failed to answer those things. We see giants, we see the valley of giants. So we see the Most High basically bringing the children of Israel about the wilderness and starting to slaughter these giants, to basically take out the mixture of these things in the world or whatever, and slaughter them immediately. We have our king of Bashan, we have the Emans, we have the Zamzumans, who were formerly inhabited in the land of Ammon, and Ammon kind of got with them and killed some of them off, and then Israel come and Israel get to slaughtering them. And we have the valley of Rephaim, another branch of giant races. You know what I'm saying? The Rephaims were well-known giants, and so we know that. So we have a lot of those things. We have they are listed among the Canaanites, the Cadmonites, Hittites, Perizzites, Amorites, Canaanites, Girgashites, Jebusites, Hivites, Anakims, Emans, Horims, Avims, Zamzumians. So the Nephilims. So these are all the valley of the giants. So he has to deal with that. God told them to be fruitful and to multiply, basically. So two humans getting together does not produce an enormous beasts like these place, or tall humans like this. That doesn't take place at all. So, that's what they was told to do, to be fruitful and multiply. So these are not ordinary men. This is a product of God, basically gene splicing with a product of man. That's all this is dealing with. You got anybody else?
Waiting for Nathan Israel to call back in. Okay, I believe this is him right here. Hold on, let me see. 216-744. Live in the air.
Praise Yahweh, my bad. And you know how it is in captivity. Yeah, in captivity around here. But I'm back.
Sound a little better. A little something. But, hold on. Once again, listen to the audience. You could chime in. For those people that just joined into the show, did angels impregnate women creating giants? Did angels impregnate women creating giants? This is the public Q&A. If you have any questions, feel free to call in. Once again, we're having some kind of technical difficulties. I'm hearing some people I can't hear when I open up the phone lines. I don't know what's going on, but hopefully it clears up. Once again, I see, a lot of people tuning in via phone and via Skype. But, again, you can keep on trying. Once again, the number is 646-716-7320. Nathan, is anything you wanted to say to Laron? Anything you wanted to chime in about? Go ahead. Nathan, can you hear me? 216. See, it's happening again. 216-744. Can you hear me? Yes, there's definitely a technical difficulty going on. Wow. All right, man. I don't know if we could get through this whole show tonight with this going on. Uh-oh.
I'm good.
Okay, you hear me? Okay, now, there we go. Anything you wanted to, anything you wanted to say to Laron before we go to the next person? Go ahead.
No, really, I missed everything. We can go to the next person.
All right, let's go to 252-883. You're live in the air.
Peace, Brother Sal. This is, Raheem.
What's going on, Raheem?
How's everybody doing? Peace.
Peace, brother.
What's going on? Yeah.
Salam, brother.
Salam. Basically, I was trying to get on before and it knocked me off. I don't know. That is bugging out tonight, but that's all right. But what I wanted to say is I didn't hear everything, but I heard a good portion of it. And I want to ask a question. Ancient astronaut theorists think there was, like, the story is talking about angels, and they're saying it's like a myth story talking about actual extraterrestrials coming from different planets. Because I know for a fact when I studied the Dogon, they have a star system which they say they come from, like Sirius A, B, and C, and I have those documents. But ancient astronaut theorists say it's basically a myth talking about actual extraterrestrial. What y'all think about that?
I think that there is I think that there actually is actual extraterrestrials. We have documents looking at it, and one of the reasons why I think that is because when we deal with science and also when we deal with archaeology, when we deal with ancient texts, we see that there are basically things that are outside of this earth that has a purpose and serve as a purpose as this in this earth. For instance, you see suns, other solar systems out there, they say. Then also you see moons on other planets. Now, if there is a purpose that satellites us in the atmosphere of other planets. Now, if there is a purpose for the on this earth, for the moon and our solar system and our sun, then what is the purpose for those things just as well too? So we must deal with that. And the Bible says that he stretcheth forth, Isaiah 40:22, it says he stretcheth forth the heavens as a garment or as a tent to dwell therein. So that means he has stretched forth the heavens as a tent to be dwelt therein. So in these heavens, there are what you call heavenly beings, as the scripture says, angels and principalities
that rule in heavenly places. Also in Revelation chapter 12, it says, "Rejoice ye that dwell in the heavens." So yes, I agree with that.
And who was that? Laron just said that? What the other guy thinks about that? Oh, so you basically saying it could be actual extraterrestrial versus angels. That's what you're saying, Laron?
Oh, well, actually, I think they are. I think they are angels. I mean, and in regards to your question, I think they are angels. You know, basically messengers, and I think they probably manifest themselves as other type of beings or some type of way to make man think. Because you have people actually fashioning their heads after these beings. They call it head shaping. Have you ever seen them head shape their heads after aliens or after what they supposed to be? These aliens.
Oh yeah. They put certain iron brass on their head and elongated like in Egypt, certain African cultures, even South American cultures also. Yeah. Is the other brother on? Hello?
Yeah, Nathan, you there? Are you there? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm here. I want to say one thing, though. We don't want to get it mistaken that, you know what I'm saying, when we talk about celestial, they talk about celestial all throughout the Zohar. Not terrestrial, but the celestial beings and the different things they do. They talk about how there's one celestial being to every nation of people, like one for Persia, one for, you know what I'm saying, and they go into detail about some things in Daniel and things of that nature. So when we talk about celestial and dealing with the angels, but what I'm trying to figure out is where are these evil angels the Almighty speaks about? When has the Almighty ever had to fight against any angel? You know what I'm saying? I know we're talking about these celestial things coming down. I believe they're angels from the Almighty, even the lion spirits. So I'm trying to figure out who are these, and I'm definitely not getting any name or anything I can read in regards to, because all of it's lies. Now, what the text says, that's what it is. But when you talk about these celestial beings that's coming down, you know what I mean, doing these things, even land with beasts, though. So they do know different forms. And in the book of Enoch, they land with oxen, producing elephants and stuff. So, yeah, they do that different forms, man. But are we going to feed into this garbage? But that's all I want to say on that.
Okay. That's all, Sal. Peace, y'all.
Peace, Ron.
I appreciate the call. Like I said, for some reason, some calls are going through, some are not. I don't know what's going on, but you could try. Once again, it's all about the people getting answers to their questions. You know that number. That's person number 1, and we can add you into the conversation. The number is 646-716-7320. If we still have technical difficulties, I guess we'll just go to the final statements and, just wrap up the show pretty much. And hopefully you guys taking down your notes. And once again, if you're in the chat room, you can type in your questions, and I'll read it out live on the air. And, yeah, man, that's about it. Let's go to the next person. Let's see. Let's go to 940-765. You're live on the air. 940-765. Hello?
Oh, hello?
Yes, I can hear you. How you doing? Welcome to the show. You have a question or a comment?
Oh, yeah, I actually didn't have I didn't even press 1, so I didn't know how it queued me in. But, I guess I'll go ahead and, I don't know how it queued me in. I actually didn't even press 1. I was just listening because the internet was, but, I guess I have one comment that I will say. Okay. I typed it already in the chat, and I do obviously pick with this side, but either way, I'm trying to, I guess I want more explanation on how each, opponent, how they can more describe, what they, or why they believe what they believe. And one thing that I wrote was the word referring to the spirit being that is in question is B'nai Ha-Elohim, I believe. And so maybe there should be focus on, the verses surrounding that, when that specific term or Hebrew term comes up in the word, and why or why not, each person thinks that, okay, these are angels, this points that these are spirit beings, or this doesn't, maybe this doesn't point that they are, spirit beings, or and just why or why not, or even if that word is, appropriately translated. I guess that comes into question a lot in terms of the Bible. So I guess that's the only thing I've been thinking about the whole time. So, but thank you. But it's a good question. It's a good question. It's a good debate topic. So.
Yeah, appreciate that. I don't know, system going haywire today, so hopefully, everybody press number one, actually press number one. I don't know what's going on. But let's go to Laron Campbell. Anything you want to say about that? Anything you want to respond
to? I brought out, when I started, I brought out the expression sons of God is found only 5 times in the Old Testament, which he said, B'nai Elohim, and it's when you, and every time that it is used of angels. It's in Genesis 6:1-4, Job 1-6, also 1 and 6, Job 2 and 1, and 38 and 7, and then also it is we see it also in Daniel 3 and 25 and 28. So these are the times that we see that it is brought out, and we see it there. And I brought out also Josephus. And Josephus said, many angels of God accompanied with women and begot sons that proved unjust and despisers of all that was good, on account of the confidence that they had in their own strength. These men did what resembled the acts of those who the Grecians called giants. Antiquities book 1:3 and 1. It says again, he says, there were till then left the race of giants, who had bodies so large and the continent so entirely different from other men that they were surprising to the sight and terrible to the hearing. The bones of these men are still shown to this day. Antiquities book 5:2 or 3.
Yeah, I wanted to cut in real quick and say something, man. Now, I see you never go to the New Testament, because the New Testament does always refer to as man, right? You know what I mean? When it says the Son of God, it's talking about men. That's why. You don't have to go to the New Testament, because I don't believe in the New Testament anyway. You feel me? But every time you see the Son of God, you're saying that it's angel in the Old Testament. That's false. You can't. I know you can't call yourself an Israelite and believe that. You know what I mean?
Well, let's go to the passages. Let's go to the passages.
Okay, it's only 4, right? So Israel is not the Son of God. In fact, I'm gonna show you something in Psalms 89. All right, Psalms 89.
It's in Psalms 89.
89. And I'm going to read verse 26, all right? I mean 27.
All right.
He shall cry unto me, thou art my Father, my Elohim, and the rock of my salvation. I will make him my firstborn, higher than the kings of the earth. So when you talk about somebody being a son of Elohim, being the firstborn, it's talking about David right here.
Well, she's talking about the term. In other words, the expression being Elohim. In fact, let's go to it in Job 1 and 6, because that's where we see it more where it's at. But that's what she's talking about, the term, basically.
1 and 6? All right, let's go there.
Job 1 and 6. One and 6. All right, let me jump to it right quick. And the same said, hold on, where is it at? Job 1.
We see it in chapter 2, too. I know what you're talking about, man. We say the Son of God came to present themselves. This is talking about angels. I don't doubt that at all. You know what I'm saying? So what is it?
Yeah, and that's what she's talking about. Ben Elohim, Ben Elohim, basically. So that term is used in this text, and we see it in here in the passage.
I'm gonna ask you then, which one did it then? The sons of Elohim. Was it Satan or was it Azazel? You know what I'm saying? Like, was it Satan that did it? I mean, it says that he did a lot of stuff in Revelation, which is, well, you want to put it on Satan.
What you mean? What did he do?
That impregnated the man. We need to know which angel it was.
No, actually, it doesn't say. This is the thing. And the Book of Enoch, it says, but I don't subscribe to the Book of Enoch, but if it is referencing these names, then so be it. But it doesn't have to say, all you need to know is, did it happen? That's all you need to know. You ain't got to get into the detail, nitty-gritty. If you know anything about the Torah only points you to certain things. So it doesn't say it all, it just points you to certain things. You don't need to know the name. All you need to know is these sons of God, which were angels, came down and had sex with the daughters of man.
Yeah,
and that's
you're right. Let me agree with you. Let me agree with you then. So the Book of Enoch says that we both agree that's just garbage, man. 3,000 L's tall. You know, the Almighty is a white man. All that stuff. That's garbage. You know, the Book of Enoch is garbage. So yeah.
It's some things.
I agree with you, brother. I agree with you. And anybody want to call in and try to defend it, you know, I agree with you, man, on that point. I'm putting on that point of the
callers. We got some more callers.
So you can jump to the next time.
Yeah, let's see if it works, man. Let's see if the phone lines are working right now. Let's go to 661-748. Live on air.
Shalom, Sal. Shalom, Laron. It's your boy Bass. I'm calling in from the DMV area.
What's up, Bass? Peace, brother.
Peace, fellas. I was trying to get in earlier, but like Sal said, there was some problems on Blog Talk's website. I finally got in through Skype. So I didn't catch the whole debate tonight, but I just want to make a general statement. First of all, when you're talking about the Book of Enoch, and LeBron, you're saying that you don't subscribe to it. Now, you know a little bit about my background, and the only churches in that organization right now that do subscribe to that and hold it as canonical, verified with the code of the canon law, is the Ethiopian Orthodox churches. So, when I finish my statement, I'll lead back into that. Second of all, looking forward to your 4th part of your 7-part series coming up. I believe that's next Monday.
Yes, sir. Yeah, next Monday.
Okay, that's good. Could you give me several reasons why you don't really subscribe to the Book of Enoch? I'll wrap it up by saying that we all kind of know that, the topic of demonology, as early as Christianity goes back, has always been a very controversial subject. You have some churches that won't confirm or affirm to any of it. They won't touch on it at all. It's kind of taboo. It's sacrilegious. But as far back as I always recalled, as early as Christianity goes back, it kind of came from the simple acceptance that, demons, the original idea, comes from Jewish and Christian scriptures. It comes and originates from the scriptures. Some churches, especially, the Roman churches, which is my background, we've talked about, they'll study it in depth. And then you've got other churches that won't even touch on it. So I just wanted to chime in, show some support for you brothers doing your thing.
Appreciate it, brother.
Real positive face on the community. I think it's very important that Sal and LeBron and Nathan, you guys keep doing your thing, especially after what we witnessed this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
I'll wrap it up by saying, wrap it up real quick. I tried to call in last night and catch you, LeBron, and you hung up the phone. But I made a general statement because I didn't catch the whole debate, and I just said, well, LeBron is able to articulate, and it comes off the tongue fast, and if people can't decipher what he's saying, sometimes you miss his point. And they said, well, do you understand his point? I said I was able to keep up with them. Man, as soon as I said that, they tried to verbally assassinate me, brother.
No, but I want to ask you a question real quick.
LeBron got beef everywhere, huh?
Yeah.
I got you.
So with that being said, I love the platform. I'm going to go on mute. And if, Laron, if you could just kind of touch on the, maybe two main reasons why you don't just subscribe to that book.
Can I say something real quick?
Go ahead, bro.
I just wanted to say that. I just wanted to say that. What do you believe when it comes to the Book of Enoch? Do you believe it's true? Do you believe it's false? I mean, I didn't really get. I don't know. Maybe I missed it. I didn't get a clear answer on your position on it. I believe it's a bunch of falsehood. You can train your dog on it. But what do you believe?
661. You can respond. He's asking, what do you believe? If you do believe in the Book of Enoch, 661.
I thought he was going to let Laron touch on that. I have some mixed emotions about it. I believe in it to some extent, but I've been doing some of my own research, and early in the Bible, before the flood, there were no nations, no nationality. But there's an interesting book out which I'm waiting to come in the mail, which we know later that Enoch could very well be the lost prophet that they speak about early in Genesis, and then later in Acts as it comes in, and he has the nationality. So I'm looking into it. I find the topic interesting, but I really, that's not one of my strong points really in the Bible, to be honest with you.
Yeah, the Book of Enoch, I don't agree with it either. I'm glad we got more people that don't agree with it. I'm looking for somebody that does agree with it so we can have a discussion.
Well, let me say this. We're dealing with the Book of Enoch. I will say this. If anybody is out there, you listening in, and you can hear this clearly, there is something on on YouTube. Go to YouTube, type in the Angel of Deceit. And I think the guy, he deals with, he subscribed to him. He deals with faces like the sun. He deals with all mystery cult systems, and he goes into a lot of ancient cult systems, and he's a great teacher. And he has some hours of information, of great information. And he doesn't subscribe to the Book of Enoch, but he does deal with something out of the Book of Enoch, as well as me. When they talk about the angels coming down from a certain place and a certain, I deal with the Book of Enoch when it lines up with the Bible. That's the most part. I believe that there is some truth in the Book of Enoch, but I also believe that there is some things that does not add up with the Bible and should not be in there. Now, here's the thing: what I do believe. I know that these angels came down and did what they did. That's the first thing. I know that one of the angels was named Azazel. That is a real angel. His name is Azazel, and Azazel is in the Bible, for those that don't know that. So I know that this angel is real. That's the first thing. The second thing is when it tells you about what happened and what they did and how they taught men this knowledge, I know that to be truth because I have read a lot of ancient cultures that have mentioned the same things. Like, for instance, when it talk about cutting of the roots, and when it talks about gene splicing, when it talks about that it taught them how to astrology and astronomy, and also when it talks about the dashing of the dashing of the emblem, basically the babies and stuff like that. So when it talks about these things, those things are true, and that lines up with the Bible, because they have found archaeology of them gene splicing back then. They have found archaeology of ancient Egyptians doing with dashing basically dashing the babies or doing abortions back then. So they have found a lot of these things going on. So I reference in those things. But for the most part, I do not deal with the book of Jasher because it has a lot of contradictions in it, and it is what you call what's good in it and what's evil in it. It has some knowledge that's good in it. It has some things that's evil in it. But for the most part, there's always a slick tongue or a serpent tongue that's involved in those things. So I disagree with a lot of those things. Number one, if you are using those books, be prepared to when somebody come to you to basically confound you real easily upon the contradictions those things, how they contradict the biblical text. Because if you came to me talking about the book of Yasher or the book of Enoch, and there's certain things that ain't lining up in it, or the Apocrypha, these are things that Josephus did not even mention. And he mentioned the books that they was using back in his days. And he did not mention one of those books. So if you are using those books, those are some good things that's in those books, but I think they have taken from other books and spun off. That's what I think happened.
We actually have some more people pressing number 1, but we do have a question inside the chat room. So let me read that right now. And this is from Nicole Overcomer. Shout out to Nicole for posting the question in the chat room. It says, "This is amazing information. I recall being told in church that angels impregnate women, creating giants, meaning evil men. So Genesis 6:2-4 has nothing to do with evil men being born." I'm going to read it again. I recall being told in church that angels impregnated women, creating giants, meaning evil men. So Genesis chapter 2, verse 2-4 has nothing to do with evil men being born. Let's start with Nathan Israel. You want to answer that question? Go ahead. Nathan, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Hello, my bad. The sons of Elohim saw the daughters of man, and they were fair, and took them wives, all which they chose. So you say, well, this is the birth of evil men, are you trying to say? Well, we see what's going on during the time of Noah. It is a lot of wickedness going on, with, you know what I mean? And that's why the sons of God, when they, like I said, they tell us not to deal with certain people, you know what I mean? We're supposed to separate ourselves from certain cousins, because they women will turn you astray. That's exactly what you see. You know what I'm saying? That's what you see, what happens when the sons of Elohim or the sons of Seth, they were dealing with the daughters of man, you know what I mean? So we see what happened with the lineage and how it degenerated. But it's not talking about some angels coming down. Then you don't know if it's Azazel, that real angel, or Satan that was cast out. Or you don't know if they got locked up. When did they let them go so they can make more? Or did some more come? You know what I mean? Because they locked him up after the flood. But then after the flood, we got Philistines that are giants. So they just, they must have let some more free. Or y'all need to get that story. Or some of them, just a couple more of them got AWOL in the host of the Almighty. Like, nah, I see what they did. So, or something. You know what I mean? We got to get the story straight. That's why I want to read it instead of just, all the stories is just lies and deceit. So I just want to, instead of his, just blabbing, I want to be able to read it, man.
Laron, you want to respond quickly? Go ahead.
Yeah, my take on that, when you look at it, Genesis 6:4, there were giants in the earth in those days. And also after that. In other words, there were giants before the flood and after the flood, because we see them before the flood, then we see them after the flood. Now, first of all, we must realize is, it says when the sons of God came into the daughters of man. So the Bible tells you that the daughters of man were born in general, not just the daughters of Cain, but the daughters of man in general were born. Now, understand this. The first thing that God commanded was to do was to be fruitful and to multiply. Only reason why Moses singles out Cain's lineage and Seth's lineage is because what he's done is he's pointing back to show you up until his time the lineage that following the lineage of the Messiah, the seed will come through. That's all he's doing. Now, when we come down to dealing with Noah and 8 souls are righteous. There's all wickedness on the earth. Moses himself says 130 years after 130 years after creation, when Adam was born. I mean, not when Adam, when Seth was born. Then we see that he has Seth in his image and in his likeness. Moses said that for a reason, because there was giants before the flood and after the flood. So he's basically telling you that Seth was in the image and likeness of Adam, basically. That's what he's telling you. So yes, these men were all evil, and the women were evil. I mean, and the man was evil in general. But the sons of God, which is a product of God, came down and mingled with a descendants or daughters of Adam, as the scripture says. So we see that.
Get locked up. My bad.
You say what? So when we talk about being locked up, and we just dealt with that, he says that there's two explosions of these angels before and after the flood. There were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that. Also after what? After the flood. When did this happen? When the sons of God came into the daughters of men. In other words, it was natural to have a child or for a man and woman to be together. So what produced these large giants, or the valley of the giants that we see? It couldn't have been an offspring of man. It had to be something that was of a strange flesh, as the text say when you look at in the book of Jude.
All right, we're going to go to the next caller. Yeah, and by the way, we have like 6 minutes on the air, guys. We have 6 minutes on the air. So what that means, ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening on social media, if you're listening on Blog Talk, once the 6 minutes is up, the only way you can hear the rest of the show is by dialing that number, 646-716-7320. And we're going to, take some more callers from the people. And after that, we're going to go to the final statements. If you happen not to call in, then you can check out the archives later on. Again, this show is archived, so you can go check it out later on and show your support. And, make sure you go to the description box and, you can contact my special guests. I have their Facebook page up there, the YouTube page, things of that nature. It's all about you getting answers to your questions. So let's go to the people, though. Once again, before the time runs out, but we have 5 minutes and 22 seconds now on the air. So before the time runs out, you're going to have to call in if you want to hear the rest of the show. But let's go to the next caller. Let's go to 240-731. You're live on air.
Oh, wow. I didn't even hit the cue, but I asked a question, though. This is Brother Casey, man. I'm a student at Absolute Bible Truth. Hey, I just want to ask, I'm doing good, man. I just want to ask brothers.
Peace, brother, peace.
How you doing? If you can, one of you brothers can explain, let's go to Numbers 13 and 23. Can you give me an explanation of, what happened when 13 and 23?
Numbers 13.
Right. This is the time when the Most High told Moses to the spies up to Canaan.
Let me go to it real quick. It says, and they came into the brook of Eshcol and cut down from thence a branch of cloth. Is that it? And they buried it upon his staff, and they brought up the pomegranates and the figs. Okay. And this is when they sent. Go ahead, brother.
Right. Yeah, you're right. This is when they sent the spies up into Canaan. Now, if you read what it says about those grapes, right? You see what it says about the grapes. What kind of grape does it take 2 men to carry in between them? You understand what I'm saying? On the staff.
That's a good point. That's a good point right there.
You know what I'm saying?
Can I answer that?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. Well, and that's the question I asked too, because of course we all came to a consensus. I like to talk about what we agree on. We had the king of Og of Bashan, and this bed was 13.5 by 6 feet, which means he might be a 12 and something feet tall or whatever. And we can agree on that we're not going too higher than that. When it comes to giants, David killed Goliath. You know what I mean? Then we got I showed the chapter where it was David and his men killing off these giants that was Philistines from Ham. So they was killing off these giants. So we're not going to try to make the giants be that big in the house of Israel. We're killing them. We're killing them same giants you're talking about. I can show you where they were the Philistines and they were giants and we were killing them. So if you're trying to make them like a dinosaur, then that's just, I just can't agree with you. But when it comes to the scriptures, it kind of did. So how tall you think they are? Because the Book of Enoch say they 3,000 ells. Do you agree with that?
Not really, but we know that they were big. And another thing, when the Most High told them to go up to actually face these people, right? The Israelites got afraid. They were afraid when they were told they had to have heart. You know what I'm saying? He told them you got to have courage of heart, man, because you're getting ready to go up against people. Now they were afraid, and then I guess the guys came back with that bad report and telling them that, hey, man, these guys are, man, we like snap to them, or I don't have my Bible actually in front of me, but you know what part I'm talking about. Now when they came back, they were afraid. It took 4 generations for the Israelites to actually go in and actually take these people out, take these giants or these huge men or whatever you want to call them. It took 4 generations to clean out the ones who were the warriors at the time that when they were afraid, and then the young ones grew, and then they went in when the Most High was with them, and they had that courage, and they did what they were supposed to do to get these people up out of the land. You look at it, it's almost as if it's like during the flood, the time of the flood. The Israelites were that flood. They were going to make clean these same giants, and if you look at what happened in Genesis, they were in the land then, they were in the land afterwards, and now afterwards, the Israelites are that water that went in and got them up out of it. And if you look at it, right, one other thing, right, now when we look at what happened with the Moabites, you got the Moabites and the Ammonites. Most High told them, don't mess with them. Okay, I don't want you to touch them, because guess what? They already got those giants up out of it. They are dwelling in that land now. You had the Elam, who the Moabites took out, and then you had the Ammonites with the Zanziman, and they took out the Zanziman. You feel what I'm saying? So, I mean, that was just a question I had. I mean, it was just, I wasn't even actually hitting.
Yeah, I understand. I definitely understand what you're saying.
One other question there. Okay, I got one last question, man. I'm going to get off and I'm going to listen. Now, when David, like in 1 Samuel, I believe it's 1 Samuel and 17, I'm not sure the actual verse, but this is when David was going up against Goliath. Before he went up against Goliath, right? David picked up 5 smooth stones. 5. Huge, strong men, if you want to call them. There were 5 of them that were really famous at that time. You had, I think it was Deepa or something like that, Rami. You had Rapha, who was the actual father of this family of giants. You had Goliath, and you had that one giant that they didn't tell his name, but he had 24 digits. You know what I'm saying? He had 6 fingers on each hand, 6 toes on each foot. And it counted out to 5. Do you brothers believe that David knew exactly who may show up or who he may have to kill with these stones? Because he picked up 5, and there were 5 famous giants that he had to deal with at that time. What do you brothers think about that? Now, just I'm gonna hold on now.
I mean, you can go ahead and answer, then I answer after.
Well, I answer that real quick. You know what I'm saying? One thing you see about David against Goliath is supposed to be this giant, is he was still able to pull off his sword and chop his own head off. So when you think about, okay, these the bed, how big his bed is, okay, he's a 12-foot person, so he's probably like 3 or 4 of real muscle mass. I mean, we want to put ratios and stuff. So that's you know what I mean? So when you talk about him picking up his sword, I mean, how much his sword you think his sword weighed? You know, if a regular sword is, say, I mean, it would be 4 times as big as a sword. I mean, it was obviously this person wasn't a giant that was just gargantuous. You know, we used to be fighting giants that are, you know what I mean, like the Book of Enoch, say 3,000 eyes tall. This is showing that it's like it said in the book. You know, so I do believe it was giants. They just wasn't angels having sex with the people. You know what I mean?
Well, hold on. You said that you do believe that they're giants, right?
Yeah.
Now, if you say that you do believe it was giants, now how did these giants come about? That's what you need to answer. They come about from holy man sleeping with unholy women. How did these giants?
No.
We just okay. Well, that's a lot that it's like you come in. In other words, you're saying this logic. You're saying that godly men have the power to produce giants when married to ungodly women. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I mean, we talk about producing giants. You know what I mean?
Because you have to. These was what?
I mean, we talk about the word Nephilim. We talk about the word Nephilim. You know what I mean? It talks about being degenerate. So you know what I mean. So maybe some type of defect or whatever. But when you're dealing with how big they are, I mean, we just gotta analyze them with one of their names. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, it's not. That's not even the problem. What's the problem is how did they come about? Because the Bible is telling you that one product mingled with another product. In other words, if upon your logic, you're basically saying that a mixture of godliness and wickedness produced giants. Well, why is it not producing giants today? Or you're basically saying that extreme wickedness on the part of either parent will produce a giant offspring.
These conclusions, hold on. These conclusions are folly. So what it's saying, the whole text is saying that something tampered, a product of God, a son of God, a direct product of God, tampered with the product of man, something that was after the kind of man, which is woman. Woman is mankind. She is a kind of man. So one product of divine product, a direct product of God, tampered with another product.
All right. Well, basically, I know you're saying that, but I want to see where it's written about, this. Well, it was Satan or it was Azusa. We want to actually know where, instead of you just trying to get divine or being a prophet and letting us know. We want to get to the bottom of which angels it was, what was the names of the sons. Like the Persians are named after.
Would you agree to that?
And then your mythology. The mythology, you talk about how the book of Enoch goes with the different mythologies of the different nations. And I can read that in the book of Enoch. And this is just a lie. But you say that's what they do. The demigods teach them magics and how to be evil and all that. And that's but I can show you where it talks about them in the 69th chapter, about how these different things, the name of Javan, this one, the one who led astray the sons of God and brought them. So it names a bunch of angels and what they do. It names a fourth one.
Yeah, hold on, man. Hold on for a second. I just got to let you know that actually the Laron Campbell call just dropped. And actually we're in the overtime part of the show. So what that means is, unless he knows someone that's calling in right now, we have a lot of listeners. He's unable to call back in through his regular phone line at this time. So, I apologize for that, guys. Once again, when we're in the overtime part of the show, you're unable to call in. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to go down the line and take some more of these callers here. And, once again, I apologize for that. I don't know what happened. His call just dropped. It's one of the weird nights tonight, one of the weird ones. Let's go to the people, though. Let's go to 832-292. You're live on air.
Greetings, Brother Sal. This is Brother Black Jesus Minister.
Hey, what's happening, man?
I'm enjoying the show, even though I'm catching the end part of it. I'm also disappointed that Brother Laron dropped off. I had wanted to ask him a question, but if there's anyone that's on the line that can answer this question or refresh me on what I missed during this discussion, what were some of the points that were made as to why Laron or others don't agree with the Book of Enoch, and how does it conflict with the Bible?
Well, Nathan, he doesn't agree with the Book of Enoch neither. So, Nathan, I guess you can go ahead and give both parties' opinion on that.
There's a vast list of stuff. You know what I mean? I'm pointing out the one where it talks about this same myth that's in the Book of Enoch. But like I said earlier, it says you're supposed to worship and set your hope on the Son of Man. And you don't worship no Son of Man. It say that Noah was white and all the angels is white. It say Noah was white like an angel. That's what angels look like in the Book of Enoch. It said there was two angels that looked like white men. You know what I mean? So, but in the Book of Enoch, it talks about these angels, how they went down and had sex with the women, and they had sex with the animals, and they produced all these different things, and they thought that they was going to fight against the Almighty, who said in Deuteronomy 32 and 40, I swear that I live forever. Yahweh lives forever. Ain't nobody, but I don't know. We can clarify a little bit, and I'm kind of sad that the brother did drop off. You know what I'm saying? Because we can always have a number two or whatever. Make sure I'm on that one with the One West camp. Because I'm gonna, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna bring it. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you, brother.
Yeah. Thank you too, brother.
All right. So right now, we're gonna take a few callers right now. Well, again, unfortunately, Laron Campbell call dropped. Again, the system's been acting up kind of crazy tonight. I apologize for all the technical difficulties. However, we're going to pretty much wrap it up real soon. Let's go to the people. Let's go to 313-571. You're live in there.
Hey, shalom, Brother Sal. Shalom to the other brother. I didn't catch your name. And shalom to Laron.
Hey, shalom. Shalom, brother.
This Mikael, and this have been a crazy night, Sal. I was doing my show at the same time you was doing your show, and emergency came up. I had to cut my show short halfway in the middle of it. So you know I'm upset because the listeners was all into it. The spirit was going. But when I straightened out issue I had to straighten out, I'm like, whoa, Sal got a show on. So it's good I called so I can catch some word and some knowledge. Now, I got to say this. Laron, you know that's my boy. You know, that's my boy. But it's certain stuff I don't agree with him on. We agree on a lot, but we disagree on some things. Now, the brother that's debating made a good point when he brought up the Philistines, and I'm going to tell you why. It is believed that, first off, I'm a historian. I read all them books, whether I believe in them or not, because the scriptures tell us, he give us a measuring stick. He say 2 or 3 or more witnesses. And the reason he say that is, and then later in the scripture he said, he talks about sound doctrine. So how you prove something is sound doctrine, if it's something that's really like important, something of magnitude, you have to be able to find at least 2 or 3 other comparisons within the sound doctrine that you have, which is the 66 books. Now, I got the Apocrypha also. And the reason I look at it that way, I know we can get into the council and see it and the church and all that. That just means the Most High was influencing them, just like he influenced them to take us into slavery. You know, so it was still under his control. So a lot of them books got removed because them books was either not scripture or sound doctrine, or they were straight out bogus. Like I like the book of Maccabees, 1, 2, 3. I like it because it's real history. You can tell that it was written by our people. But this is what you got to understand. Y'all brought up the Ethiopian church earlier. The Ethiopian church got like the biggest biblical collection. That brother was right when he said that. And Enoch, one of them. Matter of fact, their Bible got like 80 books in it. You know, but what you find out when you read them, you do comparative studies, and if you go against the scripture, you know that just because some Israelites wrote it, don't mean that it was inspired by the Most High. We know Israel got into folly at one time. Then when the fake Israelites took over, you know who they is. You call them the Edomites and Khazars and Ashkenazi Gentile, all that. When they got a hold of it, they did a little Greek twist to it. And it makes sense. All they did was, hold on, let me finish. It don't mean that they changed the scriptures. It means that it's the way they taught it with the Greek philosophy. Now, if you go back, we know that the children of God was everybody that came through Seth's seed. And the reason for that, and I heard you mention it earlier, you could go straight to Luke chapter 3, and it makes it clear. It say, and Jesus himself began to be about 30 years of age, being the son of Joseph, which was the son of Heli, which was the son of Matthat. Now, we can keep going. It goes all the way down, and I'm going to take it down to the point. It actually follows the lineage all the way to the Israelites down to Jesus. And let me show you what he gets to. It say, which was the son of Jesse, which was the son of Obed, which was the son of Boaz, which was the son of Salmon. Keep going. Go down about verse 35. Nope, go farther than that. Okay, here we go. We get to the meat. 37, verse 37, which was the son of Methuselah, which was the son of Enoch, which was the son of Jared, which was the son of Maleliel, which was the son of Canaan. And after that, it says, which was the son of Enos, which was the son of Seth, which was the son of Adam, which was the son of God. So he showed you the actual lineage of the sons of God. And it came from Adam through Seth's seed all the way down to Jesus Christ. So he disinherited Cain's seed, and he called them son of men. Now, you also got to look at the meaning of great. See, of giant. And what people don't know, what some people don't know is that if you really look into it, at certain times you have 2 different types of giants. You have a great man, which Nimrod was. Nimrod was a giant. He was a regular-sized man from what we know, but he was a giant because it also has indentations to mysticism and sorcery and all that stuff. So when you come to the flood, the Most High, you know what I'm saying, he brought the flood and he wiped out certain things. Now, if the angels would have created these beings, you know what I'm saying, from some sexual immorality, then those beings should be wiped out with the flood. Also, you got to think about it. When it talks about the angels perverted these people, they did with knowledge, the same way the first fallen angel did, which was Satan. And if you think about it and you put it all together, it makes more sense. And the last thing I'm going to say is, when you put all that together, you know that even like Nimrod was a great man, or a giant. So you have to come past that, and then you got to ask yourself a logical question. If these men were 30 to 40 and 25 feet tall, I would like to know how big was these women that was giving birth to them, and how did they survive? Because the scripture said that they married these women. So it wasn't like they just slept with them. That means they was chilling, coming home, bringing home the bacon, the whole nine. What was the size of that house? We got to put common sense with it. The bottom line is the scriptures got Greekified. You know, they didn't pollute the scriptures themselves, but it was the teachings, and it ran off onto Israel. And I got a lot of proof I could go with this, but I know we on a time constraint. So that's just my thought. So I got to agree with this brother right here over my brother Laron on some points. He made more valid points. Okay.
Yeah, what about that Book of Enoch, brother? What's your perspective on that?
Oh, now as far as Enoch, hold on, you got to give me 1 second, sir. Hold on.
I want to say something about Maccabees too.
Yeah, you can mention that while he's
basically that Maccabees, you know, they got a thing where they didn't want to fight back because it was a Sabbath day, man. Our people would have never did that. In fact, we fought on the Sabbath day. If you go to 1 Chronicles 23, you know what I mean? It talks about us fighting. Was that 2 Chronicles 23? It talks about all the people on the Sabbath day and what they did. Like,
I'm sorry. Hey, I apologize so much. I apologize, y'all. Y'all hear me? That was. You know, I just had an emergency, so that was that phone call. So I apologize to everybody. I ain't that important, but I don't know. I've never done that before. But okay,
stand by. Stand by, because Nathan was answering something real quick, and after that, I'm gonna let you finish about the Book of Enoch. Yeah, Nathan.
Okay.
Oh no, I was just saying how in the Book of Maccabees they had a part where they didn't fight back because they thought you know what I mean, and they just died. You know what I mean, just because they said you can't fight on the Sabbath, and our people know we can fight on the Sabbath according to scriptures. We did fight on the Sabbath. You know what I'm saying? If it came down to it, you know what I mean. So that's one thing. But like I said, I like Maccabees for the most of it. You know, I like the Apocrypha for the most of it. There's little stuff like in Tobit where it's used like the liver of an animal for, you know, put it on your eye or something. I'm like, the liver. You know, I could see herbs, but I mean, but there's certain things like when it comes to the Apocrypha, man. But for the most part, I do like it, man. The Book of Sirach is the wisdom and some good stuff when you read Proverbs, you know what I mean, every day. You know what I mean? But that's all I want to say.
All right, 313, yeah, with the Book of Enoch, what's your perspective on that?
Yeah, you know.
By the way, sorry about that. By the way, we successfully got Laron back in. Apparently, he knew someone that was listening to the show, so we're working on getting him back in. He's, he's gonna, get back on the line. But go ahead.
Yeah, because actually that's the first thing I tried to do was look for his number, and I didn't lock it in my phone. I talked to Laron.
Peace to everybody.
No, I tried Laron, but I ain't have your number locked in, man. I tried to get you back on.
Yeah,
so they want me to explain my outlook on the Book of Enoch, then let you finish or whatever. Now, as far as I'm concerned, I agree with you and Laron on the Book of Enoch. Because when I was studying the Book of Enoch, I was studying all the so-called lost books. And like I said, I came to the conclusion that the Most High allowed a lot of them to be took out for a reason. It don't make them not necessarily valid history written by Israelites, but some of it is not sound doctrine. You don't know what, and then put the taint on it and all that. So concerned with the Book of Enoch, there's at least 3 or 4 major subscriptions of the Book of Enoch. And this is where my problem always came in at. Scriptures tell us that he took Enoch. Ain't nobody some sense. So I got 2 questions. When did he write this book and who did he give it to? Now, I think some of the other little mythical books, and they try to almost line it up as though he gave it to Methuselah, but you cannot, like I say, 2, 3 or more witnesses, you cannot verify that in the scripture. And I've asked some elders that teach that book, and I said, brother, if we've never seen him again when he left, when did he have time to write a book, and who did he give it to? And nobody could tell me. And so then I looked at it and seen the white angels and all that, but it contradicts Ezekiel's description of the angels. They had brown skin, almost identical to what Jesus' celestial body was identified in Revelations, which would make sense. So when you put the 2 or 3 or more women do that all the time, you can cancel out what the nonsense is. Yeah, so like I was telling Laron, y'all both, this is a very good one. I'm sad I called it at the end. So I had to get off my show. But from what I heard, I agree with you on some stuff. but it's more than one definition of the giants. And so when you do that, you just do a comparative study and say, like, well, if the flood was to wipe it out, then they shouldn't exist no more. So that you know it was more than one type of giant. And we know that the Philistine was a giant, at least the one that David fought. So the only explanation you can have, for one, I can't think of a woman that can give birth to a child that can grow 30 feet and still live. And then they married him. That's the point I made. It wasn't like they just slept with him. They was there here chilling with him. So, like, bringing home food. You got to look at it realistic. So the only giants I believe that we have now are the ones like Mutombo, Shaquille O'Neal. You know what I'm saying? That's who we look at as a physical stature. So that giant in the Old Testament had a deeper meaning to it. Like I said, Nimrod was a giant. And they said he had some type of mystical powers. So, you know, that's just my outlook on it. But this is a very good, I've been on about 45 minutes. But go ahead, you can respond, brother. But Enoch, we agree, it's garbage.
Let me respond to this real quick, because when you deal with stature, when you have words like stature and those words is in there, that's dealing with a height. For the Most High said, look not on his stature, for the Lord have refused him. Because we know that Samuel was looking on his stature or his height, and then he looked over and looked at David, and David was a little short fella. So we looking at that. The Bible says that they was tall and statured, as we see these giants was. So remember, the sons of God, the giants are the product of the sons of God, when the sons of God went into the daughters of men. So we have an explosion before and after the flood, as the text says. It says, and there were giants in those days. Also, after that, when the sons of God came into the daughters of men. So the sons of God came into the daughters of men, which made a product of what you call giants, a mixture of humans and angels. Now here's the thing. We have a bloodline of bloodlines in Kemet, ancient Kemet, bloodlines also around the world that feel that they are demigods. I feel that they are the bloodlines of these giants. Not giants, but of these beings that took on the daughters of man. So these was flooded out. The giants was flooded out. But the angels, which already cannot die, which are eternal beings, except they are tamed and locked up, as we see in the scripture it says in Jude, they were still capable of doing these things after the flood. So that's why it says before and after the flood. So this is what we're seeing here. So if you say these are the sons of God, as I said before, then you have to answer these questions. How can we know it's stature? We know it's just literally says they was 13 feet tall, basically, when you deal with the scriptures. The scriptures specifically said that they was as grasshoppers in the sight of these men. So when we look at the sons of God, or when you look at the term Seth, once again, Seth did not have a son until 235 years after creation, and his son didn't have a son until 325 years after creation, according to Genesis 5:3, verses 6 and 9 also. Where did these sons come from? They couldn't have been the sons of Seth, because these marriages took place when men began to multiply in the very beginning of the race, before Seth had sons of marriageable age. Number one, the term sons of God proves. Hold on, brother, hold on. Don't cut my wisdom. I'm gonna let you get in. The Bible says, it says this, the term sons of God proves. Oh, you all good, brother. It says the term sons of God proves that they were the product of God, not self. In other words, they were the fallen angels that we see in 1 Peter 13 and 9, also 2 Peter 2 and 4, Jude 1, 6 and 7 as well. As mentioned, Josephus also mentioned these angels, these sons of God, which were called angels. There are 5 mentions of these angels in the Old Testament. Now, if you can prove that these was not angels of God, then I'm with you. But in these 5 times, they mention angels and not men. Therefore, go ahead, brother. You got it. I'm sorry. I don't mean to offend you if I offended you.
Yeah, Nathan, you can go ahead, brother.
Shalom, my bad. I'm sorry. When you talk about prison for the angels, I like to mute my phone sometimes. But that's also in the book of Enoch, where it talks about the prison for the angels, and then it talks about how the Satans are going to be preparing the instruments of Satan, preparing the instruments of hell is what these Satans are doing. So basically it's Satan's angels. And it's funny how Satan's angels, the only other person that thinks he has angels is in Revelation 22. We say, I will send my angels. But Yahweh is the only person. It's Yahweh of hosts. It's Yahweh's host. It's nobody else's host. It's not Satan's host. It's not, nobody's fighting against the Almighty, or think they're going to win, or think they're going to kill this creator. I don't even know what. But yeah, but it talks about a bunch of stuff in this, sacrificing the demons, and how these half angel, half man were eating people. They were drinking the blood of the people, and these different things that these stories tell. Now that's my whole thing about this whole thing. When we talk about this, we need to get more depth about which angel it was. Was it Satan? Was it Aziza? You say both of them are true. We need to get some, real clean cut answers when it comes to these stories. Definitely get a better understanding, because we see Satan in the scriptures, but we don't see this Aziza or whatever. But it's saying that's the one that impregnated the women, and in the book of Enoch, or also in the Zohar, and also. So is it Satan? What's the story? Did they lock him up? And then they got back out to do more, to impregnate more women during the Philistine age? They just got back out. Is that the case? Were they locked up forever? Were they locked up for a certain time? Did others go AWOL? We got a lot of questions to answer if you want to, go with this doctrine instead of we can't just hear it out of your mouth. We got to have something tangible. We're dealing with this. Like I said, everything tangible about the situation is garbage. All the different sources that are saying it that I'm pulling up.
And a shout out to Mikael from the Evil War Machine for allowing Laron Campbell to get back in. I know you're on the line, brother. Do you want to say anything? Do you want to chime in, Mikael? If you want to, you can chime in right now. It's up to you.
No, I'm just enjoying listening to the show. How you doing, sir?
Oh, pretty good, my brother. Pretty good. Okay.
Yes, sir. I'm in here with my pit bulls. They going crazy in the garage, so I muted my line.
What's that Cali weather like out there?
Yes,
that
man,
West
I got
Coast
on shorts.
I
got on
West
shorts.
Coast, back. I appreciate that, man. Let's go to the next. I'm going to take about two more callers, and after that, we're going to pretty much wrap it up. Let me see what time we got here. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to take, two more callers. Make your comments or questions brief real quick, and then we're going to go to the final statements, guys. I know I had the guys out here for like 3.5 hours now, so, I know it's a long time. Let's go to the next person, though, real quick. Let's go to 423-227. You're live in air.
Thanks, Phil. Thanks for answering my call. Hey, I just want to apologize. I didn't mean to be rattling on, but this is the thing. B. Johns, I agree with Laron as far as the angels and the giants, and to the what is the guy's name that's on the talk or the debate?
Nathan.
So yeah. Here's the thing, you're saying you want to know the names of some of them. Like they were saying some of the names of Azazel is one. He's the ringleader, or Semjaza, one of the two, that they made a pact with, they say it's about 200 of the fallen angels. You got obedient angels, Gabriel, and all those other messages. Gabriel, Ariel, stuff like that, Uriel, Raphael, these are the good angels. And some of those are mentioned in the Bible, especially Gabriel. He was the messenger, the main messenger of God. And Azazel, those were the fallen angels, the bad angels, the disobedient angels. They left their first state. So now, I don't believe in going to other books unless, the Bible reference them. So Jude in the New Testament mentioned they got the information about Jesus will return with 2,000 something like that of his angels or something like that. Another, I don't want to misquote it, but it's in Jude, I think, verse 14, where he talks about the angels ascending back with Jesus when he come. So they had to be referencing the book of Enoch. Now, some of that stuff now, when it get to like what Enoch looked like he was white as snow, that might be something, you know, a lot of these Edomites and these other heathen nations, they know our records. They got our records hidden, so they know these things, so they could possibly get in there and monk up something about that. But here's now, I want to give you, you need your pencil and paper and write down these scriptures. All these reference in Deuteronomy chapter 2, and from verse 10 on down, and Deuteronomy 2 and 20, it mentions a lot of the names of these giants, what their names were, the Emim, the Zanzamims, and you notice all of them got the ending on their names, the Anakim, the I-M, with the M's on there, the IMS at the end of it. Those are Nephilims, or the giants, or the angels that mix with humans. Now, they might have, the giants, they were mean folks. You know, they saw the daughters of men, that they were beautiful. They were the most desirable of women. And they didn't just ask their husbands, can they have you? They just took them. You know, I mean, and then they got to the point where they start eating the children of God, or the children of or the sons of God and their children. They start to eat them, and they start dabbling with the animals and stuff, and creating humanoids and animals and animals and beasts. Men that look like beasts, or you know, the man with the ghost. You've seen all these movies, and Hollywood knows the Bible, and they know the prophecies of the Bible. They understand well. You know, that's why they create. They don't create these movies unless they have. Most of these movies they create, these scientific movies, they get it straight out the Bible, or all these other books which they took it from the Bible, the Book of Enoch. The Apocrypha, they took all these books, and these people over in Rome, them catechisms, back in them vaults and stuff, they got all our records, and they know. So Deuteronomy 2 and 20, it mentioned a lot of the Zamzabim, the Emims, the Horims. These are all these giants that mixed with the fallen angels, human mixed with the fallen angels, these giants right here. They come with these giants. Right. And if you want to, if I have time, I give you these scriptures that you can refer to as to look about the giants and the angels. So Numbers 13 and 33. You know, beginning with Genesis 6 and 2, you know, there were giants in earth, and then after the flood, after the flood. So Genesis 6 and 4, you begin with that. And then here's one, Numbers 13 and 33. Deuteronomy 2, 10 through 11. And Deuteronomy 2, verse 20, that's where it starts to mention all the names of them giants. Deuteronomy 3:11, Joshua 12 and 4. Can you hear me? Or are you listening?
Yeah, I can hear you right up there. You can hear you. Okay. All right, well, my question real quick, though. Sis. Basically, you said that Azazel was the one that was cast out. Now, you know, we can go to Revelations 12 and what is that? Revelations 12 and 9 or something, where it said that Satan was cast out. What didn't it say something like that? Let me see. Yeah. And the great dragon was cast out. That old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceived the whole world. He was cast out to the earth, and his angels were cast out with him, meaning he had his own angels or whatever. Now, are you saying that these things happen simultaneously, and Azazel came down with Satan, or did Azazel get cast out at a different time? And then, Satan got cast out at another time. I just want to get this clarified if you don't.
Okay, well, I'm not gonna, lie. I'm not sure about that, but I know they came down in Genesis at the time of Jared was in that area. So I'm not sure
I want to know
about
what you're reading,
but there was.
My bad.
My
bad. You can finish. I just want to know what you reading it at, so we can reference that place, so we can talk about who get cast down, because obviously you're talking about both of them. That's why
I'm telling you,
Lucifer is Satan, and it's not.
Okay, so like I was saying, I don't really go to any of these other books. If you're dabbling in the Kabbalah or the Book of the Dead, you're on the wrong path. I'm taking, like I said, I don't really reference books unless the Bible itself reference book. Now I'm not saying it really referenced the Book of Enoch, but in the Book of Jude before Revelations, he mentioned in verse 14 that Jesus will come with so many of his angels or chariots, one of the two.
Well, reference the Book of Jasher. You read that book?
Well, yeah, it does. It does reference the Book of Jasher and in the Chronicles. I'm not sure what it is, or either Samuel or in the Chronicles, somewhere in that area. But it does mention the Book of Jasher, and it mentions the Book of the Prophets like Edu and Solomon. It mentions a lot of books, and so those are books I would reference instead of these other books. And he said he spoke. Enoch walked, and he was not because God took him. Now,
hold on, Sister Diane. Let me tell y'all like this. I love y'all, but I ain't finna be on this phone with y'all all night.
Okay, well, you want let me finish referencing the what did I stop at? Joshua 15, Joshua 13 and 12.
All right. Well, was a lot of information. I appreciate that information. And what we're going to do, like you said, we can't be here all night. We're going to start off with my man Nathan Israel, get some final statements for the people out there. And once again, I apologize for the technical difficulties, for those people that couldn't, call in, or those people that didn't press number one, but it appeared that you pressed number one. I apologize for the technical difficulties. At times it happens. But let's go to Nathan. We have 7 minutes for his final statements. And go ahead, brother. Final statements.
All right. Once again, giving all praises to the mighty Yahweh. Of course, all the glory of anything that was revealed was actually revealed of Yahweh. And you know what I mean? All the fault goes to me, because I didn't articulate it. I'm never perfect. That's why when they say that they even charge the angels with folly, it's not, because folly is different than wickedness. It's not. When it comes to the angels, they are not perfect like Yahweh is. You know what I mean? So there's nobody fighting against Yahweh. There's none of that. I wanted to go to Isaiah 45:1, where it said, I'm gonna go to Isaiah. Yeah, I'm gonna go to Amos 3 and 6. Though. I'm gonna go ahead and go there, because I really. And of course, you all know what it already says there. It says, "Shall the trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid? Shall there be evil in the city, and Yahweh have not done it?" You know what I mean? So we know that the Almighty controls all of it. We can. I think the brother said earlier about, about how them teaching them witchcraft is it coincides with that mythology stuff. And that's because it's the same thing. It's garbage. And what I really want is I want to be able to read these stories. If they're going to come up with stories, you see one person may say Azazel was the one that was cast down. You see, one person may say it was Satan that was cast down. And one person will definitely say that Satan had sex with Eve and produced Cain, and even down in the lineages. And then we have, different things talking about where the angels produced giants that were just so big that nobody can even think about killing them. And they, and they was, they was in a household with a woman that was regular size. She's just a woman. And then she bursts out something that's 3,000 ells tall, like the Book of Enoch says. You got to throw the Book of Enoch under the dirt. I'm glad that this is an opportunity to throw it in the dirt because, we don't need this in 2015. No false doctrine. So any false doctrine you get a chance to spit on, it's a good thing to do it, man, because our people have been led astray too long. And like I said, it's good what we agree on. I don't have no hatred towards the brother. If you want to have another discussion with somebody else want to have a discussion, there's no hatred. You know what I mean? You believe in the angels was how you gonna believe that? I just don't like him. To me, it's foolishness. You know what I mean? We can discuss that. That's minor. When it gets down to it, it's about the laws and commandments. That's why if you see something like, the Apocrypha, which, in the Book of Wisdom, it's definitely exalting the law and saying positive things towards the law. I can go with that because it's all about the laws. When you see someone breaking the commandments, telling you to do the opposite, telling you you don't have to do the covenant of circumcision. I don't want to bring it back up too much, but yeah, you don't have to do that everlasting covenant. That's when you got to take a stand. So when it comes down to this different mysticism, you have to watch out for it because they everywhere, man. We talk about I'm going to the Book of Enoch. We're talking about those 4 angels that led mankind astray. It said one angel taught us people how to write, and because he taught the people how to write, that corrupted man because man was never supposed to learn how to write. That's what it says. Of course, we threw the Book of Enoch way in the dirt. It's been in the dirt, but that's what it says when he was talking about how it coincides with the other mythologies of the different people, how they all say that was the reason they learned all that. Yeah, that's what it says in the Book of Enoch when it deals with that garbage. But as I said, I could have gone to Matthew 25 and 41 where it said devil and his angels. It said the same thing in Enoch, it's Satan and his angels. So nobody have angels. They talk about the prison for the angels, how they be in prison forever in one spot. Then they say in prison for 70 generations in another spot. You know what I mean? So, like I said, the Book of Enoch talk about worshiping the Son of Man, but nobody else has an answer for it. They say, well, we just going to believe this. Like I said, so I'm going to need something, chronological or something that makes sense for. Okay, they pregnant the people and know it's time. When did they get locked up? Did the people get out and impregnate somebody else? We just need these answers. We need it written down. I don't want to just hear somebody say it. I need something tangible because if not, it's dark. You know what I mean? So, of course, we only have a couple more minutes. I do want to give all praises to the mighty Yahweh for allowing me, his servant, to get on just and speak. Like I said, I'm a nobody. You know what I mean? The brothers, many different brothers in the house of Israel probably could have did the same thing when it comes to this because it's falsehood. You know what I mean? So the Almighty Yahweh thought it was, they thought it was my turn to say a little something maybe. I ain't about to put that on myself. I'm not about to be haughty like I'm got a direct connection or whatever. But yeah, as being of the house of Israel, we are the sons of Elohim, though. So we should make petitions to our Elohim. And when dealing with matters like false doctrine, I just felt like I had to knock down the false doctrine and exalt the Almighty's laws and commandments. And so that's something that we agree on. As you see, we lightweight, don't, because, we went to Galatians 5, and now it's like, if you get circumcised, if you think getting circumcised is going to get you, because it's one of the commandments. If circumcision will profit you nothing. But that's beside the point. Deuteronomy 32 and 40, where it talks about Yahweh living forever. It talks about him living forever in many different places. But, so, like I said, I'm going to end it off at that, giving all praises to the mighty Yahweh. Hallelujah.
Once again, we appreciate you coming on the panel, my brother. Appreciate you being on the show. And I have all this information in the description box. So if you want to reach out to the brother, you definitely can by going to the description box and checking out his Facebook page as well as the YouTube page. But let's go to Laron Campbell. Once again, he has 7 minutes. Go ahead.
All right. Once again, I'd like to thank you, Sal, for having me on here. I also like to thank Mikael from the Hebrew War Machine for calling me up to put me back on here. You know, man, that brother, we break bread a lot. You know, I call him Samuel. It's funny, his name is Mikael or Michael, and then he looked like Samuel.
Boy, you crazy.
Samuel Jackson. Yeah, but so yeah, I want to end it on this note. Nathan, appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you, the debate. You know what I'm saying? You did a good job, you know. But I do also have to say this, that you spent a lot of time dealing with the book of Enoch and these other books. I think that you probably want to debate someone that deals with the book of Enoch, you know, and in those other books. You know, me, I really don't subscribe to those books. But for the most part, I would say that, you know, we have ancient documents. You know, we have archaeology of bones of these giants that was produced. I think that a lot of answers will get answered as far as how monuments was built if we take in consideration the knowledge that these giants had. We must realize that 5 times that these sons of gods are mentioned, it is in regards to angels, basically. So there is no getting past that, you know. So we have to deal with that, or try to basically twist the scriptures to our own perception, or whatever the case may be. But for the most part, like I say, I think that there was an attack on the Adamite line, and that's basically to infiltrate the line so that the seed would not come, which is Christ. I think Moses seen it. You know, he wrote about it, you know, in the Torah. He wrote about it in the Tanakh. Well, not him, but, you know, it was written about it in the Tanakh. So, you know, it's evident that these things actually took place. You know, so like I say, a good debate, you know what I'm saying? You know, for those that listen in, I hope the callers got answers confirmed that they had they had it questioned. So, you know, like I say, you know, you can reach me at through Bust the Bible Like a Rifle or Laron498gmail.com, or through my Facebook page, you know, Laron G Consciousness. Or you know, so those are the ways you can. I say I got a couple of friend requests already, you know, from the show early on. So, you know, it's easy to reach me. I'm not hard to get a hold of, or you can inbox me. If you have any questions, do so. Me and the brother Basim, we've been mixing it up. And then also me and Carl Albert, Israel Doctrine, we're supposed to be having a debate. So we believe it's going to be March the 1st. But the title of this debate, End Time Prophecy, as it relates to Islam and Christianity. So we're going to be promoting this debate, and it's going to be a live debate in St. Louis, Missouri. So we're going to start doing a lot of live things. We're going to start working with the Hebrew War Machine and working with Brother Demo up in Chicago. And, you know, we're going to start doing a lot, creating our own live events, basically. We're going to do a lot of work with Sal just as well. Be looking for me to be up in New York, Sal. Be looking for me to be up in Atlanta. Go down there and break bread with Nasi and them and Brother Unk them just as well. And, you know, go to California. I need to get to California with Brother Edward at. I got family up there. My mom's going to stay up there. My whole family stay in California. So I'm going to get up that way and go see that brother.
Don't come out here and join the Church of Scientology.
So I'm gonna be those ways. I'm gonna be up in Chicago. So this summertime, you know, it's gonna be a lot of things going on, and G Consciousness is gonna be in the mix of a lot of things, you know, and bringing His word basically. So be looking to hear from me, and I'm getting better out here with my computer. I'm getting better in speaking, and thanks to you guys, thanks to Debatetalk4u, and also mixing it up with the brothers out here as well as the Hebrew brothers, you know. So with that being said, I just want to say peace and love to everybody, you know, and may the Most High bless your households and enlighten you and give you wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. With that being said, I'm out.
Shalom, brother.
Yeah, once again, I appreciate you guys, especially Hebrew War Machine out there representing, definitely. And like you said, Laron, I mean, we need to start creating our own platforms, our own, venues where we can break bread amongst each other. And, I'm definitely working on something for the summertime, something real big, something live, a live event as well in the ATL. Hopefully it'll all come together. I'm not going to speak on it yet. I like to make sure things are put together all the way before I mention stuff. But we're definitely working on another live, not another, but a big live event for Debate Talk for You this summer. And once again, I appreciate all my special guests for coming on. I see you guys tomorrow and Friday. Take care, and y'all bless.
You don't want to miss the best show via internet, Debatetalk4u Radio. We have the best debates in the world. We have the best special guests to present the information to the masses out there. So make sure you tune in every Thursday and Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time by going to www.blogtalkradio.com/debatetalk4u. The number is 646-716-7320. If you want to tune in via phone or via Skype, once again, that number is 646-716-7320. Save it to your cell phone. Let people know that Debate Talk for You is official. Check us out.